stick with me here. I told my wife, Chinga, about my beast hunting trip. Huge mistake. Her eyes simply sparkled like a kid arriving at Disneyland. Wow, so fun. Just like a picnic, she said, rubbing her pregnant belly with this hilariously sad pout. I want to try that anesthesia ring too. Catching those mutant pigs sounds absolutely amazing. Just amazing. My sweet, innocent wife actually thinks wrestling mutant monsters is a cute weekend hobby. Looking at her tiny frame, as thought, babe, those pigs would totally catch you. But I am not dumb enough to say that out loud. I prefer sleeping indoors. So, I gently patted her head and promised, once the baby is born and you recover, I'll take you pig hunting anywhere you want. Husband of the year, right? I checked the time, flashing her my best suggestive smirk. Hey, your hero is back, victorious. Shouldn't we celebrate a bit? Instantly, she hugged her chest and scooted into the corner of the couch like I was some hungry wolf. Hubby, what are you doing? I want hot pot. Her panicked look was absolutely priceless. She went from terrified to embarrassed to angry in literally 2 seconds flat. Then her eyes sparked with joy. I want beef tripe. So, we ate like absolute kings. After dinner, I brought her some fruit and dropped the actual bomb. Babe, I'm applying for the B rank zone next month. She nearly choked on her apple. B rank. Are you insane? That place is crawling with 2-star beasts and savage wolf packs. We have enough money. Enough money? I sat down, holding her hand. Honey, you literally need top-tier gene potions every single day. 5,000 per bottle. That is over 100,000 a month just for medicine. And once this little money-eating monster arrives, I pointed at her belly. It is a bottomless pit. She bit her lip, totally knowing I was right. But then came the ultimate knockout punch. Now watch this. Oh, one more thing. I took a slow sip of water, acting completely cool as a cucumber. I need to update my warrior association rank. I am officially a 2-star warrior now. Cough. 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 She literally choked, eyes bulging wide, water dripping down her chin. She stared at me like I just announced I was secretly a dragon. What? 2-star? Your gene development broke 20%? Poor girl. She just hit 1 star a few days ago. Feeling incredibly proud about finally matching her husband's power. Now, telling her I have already zoomed way ahead to 2-star. The gap didn't shrink. It actually got bigger. I could literally see her soul leaving her body. When did this happen? She asked, completely stunned. Right before I left the house, I grinned brightly. Thanks to all your intense hard work these past few days, babe. You really inspired me. Her face turned bright red. She wanted to smack me, but was way too shocked to move. Then I channeled my inner accountant. Listen, 1-star base pay is 10,000. 2-star is 20,000. The B rank zone doubles that. That is 40,000 a month just for showing up. I waved for fingers. Plus, all the insanely valuable materials from B rank beasts. We are talking serious money here. Her breathing sped up. 40,000 a month. Even her wealthy family would call that respectable. She squeezed my arm, still half disbelieving. My muscle was totally rock solid. I saw the heavy worry finally start to fade from her beautiful eyes. Then I pulled her into my arms with my best troublemaker smirk. Still not sure I'm a 2-star? How about we run some physical tests tonight? Later that evening, I opened the Warrior Association app, hitting the rank change application. 2-star. My finger barely left the glowing screen before my phone instantly started buzzing. 24-hour service. I know what you're thinking. That's crazy fast. It was Lee. Diana, my agent, sounding totally shocked. Like someone said the sky was green. Mr. Chin, did you accidentally tap the wrong button? Honestly, fair enough. I registered as a 1-star warrior under 2 months ago. Ranking up that fast? In the city, only spoiled rich kids swimming in expensive gene potions can pull that off. I casually played with the strand of Chinga's hair while she slept. Nope, just got lucky. Had a little enlightenment moment. Figured I'd come in tomorrow, get tested, and bump up my paycheck. 5 seconds of pure, dead silence. Just heavy breathing on the line. An enlightenment moment? I could practically hear the poor agent's brain short-circuiting. But give the woman some credit, she recovered fast. Her voice shot up 3 octaves with pure, unfiltered excitement. Yes, wonderful. I will have the VIP room fully ready tomorrow morning. After hanging up, I guarantee she was shaking like a lottery winner. With her massive commission, she basically was. The next morning, Chinga stood at the door, straightening my collar like a perfect little wife, smoothing every single wrinkle, adjusting every crease. Very sweet, very domestic. Then came the real warning. Come straight home after you are done. No wandering around. No extra activities. Her eyes narrowed sharply, especially with that black stocking-wearing agent. Handle your business, and only business. Jealous Chinga is absolutely adorable. I gently pinched her cheek. What kind of extra activities? She glared daggers at me. Babe, I have a literal goddess at home. Why would I look anywhere else? I kissed her hand like a true gentleman. Coming with me? That's where we leave it. She shook her head, eyes going full warrior mode. I'm training. See, my wife did some intense thinking overnight. She totally knew I was leveling up fast. You and I are gonna love this. Instead of acting jealous, she just trained harder to be completely unbeatable. That is my girl. Come back soon, she said, pushing me outside. The exact second that door clicked shut, she marched straight into the gravity training room. Baby, we need to work hard too. Cannot let daddy leave us behind. She was talking to our unborn kid. My heart absolutely melted. 20 minutes out. Ding. Genes up 0.1%. Total 26. I glanced back home. She trained for 20 minutes, and I already got a power boost. This woman was going completely beast mode in there. Got to earn more cash, I muttered. Cannot waste her dedication. I strolled into the guild building whistling, walked right up to the testing machine, and threw one punch. Boom. The printer spat my results out. Terrified. 2,500 kilos. 25% genes. 2-star mid-level perfect. I wrote down 25% instead of my real 26. Because, honestly, no need to give these people heart attacks. I strolled into the second floor VIP room. Lee Diana was already there, totally dressed up like a supermodel, waiting like an eager puppy. Mr. Chun, you made it. In her head, she expected maybe 20%, maybe 20.5% if she was generous. The bare minimum to barely hit 2-star rank. I was at 15% just half a month ago, right? She grabbed my test sheet and her perfectly manicured hands immediately started shaking. Her flirty eyes went wide. Her breathing completely stopped. 2-star mid-level, 25%. You are going to love her reaction. She stared like I was an alien in disguise. How did you train? Because jumping 10% is basically impossible. Even bathing in premium gene serum 24/7, your body just cannot absorb it that fast. The only explanation was a legendary physique or literal magic. I just leaned back on the leather couch, acting totally chill about it. Like I said, I got lucky. Just an epic enlightenment moment. Plus, my wife is pregnant, so I need that baby formula money. Cannot afford to slack off. I checked my watch. Stop staring and process my paperwork. Got to get home to my wife. Right. Yes. Immediately, she snapped out of it, typing like that keyboard owed her serious money. The way she looked at me now, it was not just respect anymore. It was pure reverence. Like staring at a rare treasure about to go totally nuclear. And she held all the keys. I practically saw the credit signs spinning in her eyes. Ding. Mr. Chun, Warrior info updated. Starting next month, your account receives 40,000 credits automatically. 40,000 monthly. Here, normal people only make 3 or 4,000. I was now earning an entire yearly salary every single month. You and I both know the best part. This cash existed because my wife was pushing her limits training. Earning through your wife's sweat just hits differently. I stood up to leave, but Lee Diana was totally not finished yet. She jumped up, clicked around the desk, in those heels, and strategically positioned herself right between me and the exit door. Mr. Chun, the barrack zones are super dangerous. Fierce wolves, iron-hide bears. She looked up with bedroom eyes, her voice turning totally honey-sweet. I have secret intel and safe route maps for my warrior friends. Maybe tonight I could buy you dinner and review everything in detail? Wow, as subtle as a brick through a window. This woman. And look, I am not gonna lie, for exactly half a second, my brain went, hey, she is attractive, offering free food and useful intel. Then I remembered my pregnant wife waiting at home. The same wife whose epic training sessions literally power up my own abilities. Yeah, Absolutely no way. Ruining that would be the dumbest move in history. Sha, just email me those files. Dinner? Maybe next time. I sidestepped her, walking out without looking back once. Pretty sure I heard her muttering behind me, saying, no way. He is actually faithful? He must really be a kept man. Lady, honestly think whatever you want. Because this kept man is heading straight home. Back at the apartment, Chinga and I had a serious talk. She was working at the third processing center, basically a nasty factory with a mess everywhere. Now being pregnant with actual cash flowing, there was zero reason to keep going. Babe, stay home. Train and practice the thunder breathing technique. That place is super gross, messy, and bad for the baby. I think she actually loved pretending the meat was her enemies while chopping. But she finally agreed. Fine, I will quit. But what about you? Where will you get high-grade materials? I just grinned. Moving up tomorrow. I'm interviewing at the second processing plant. That second processing plant was a totally different league. Electric fences on the walls, armored refrigerated trucks rolling in and out. And trust me, we are looking at a military base that processes monsters. Let's dive in. Our guy walked right into the hiring office. The recruiter? A massive bald dude looking totally furious. Name Chinese. Age 20. Rank 2-star. Mid-level. The big guy's sleepy eyes popped wide open. He stared at our hero like absolute magic. 20 years old. 2-star mid-level. He scanned the ID. Beeped clean. Wait. Actual genius material. Then he just leaned back and casually crossed his arms. Kid, with those stats, you could easily be an elite martial arts instructor or a billionaire's bodyguard. Why come down here to just process monsters? Besides, he tapped the desk. We have high standards. We handle iron-hide bears and shadow leopards here. One tiny mistake and you ruin the gallbladder, or wreck the expensive hide. Then you pay for all that damage. So, can you actually pull this off? Our hero just smiled, reached right into his bag, and whipped out his shiny alloy dissection knife. 2 weeks of heavy use wore the edge slightly, but he polished it until it was completely spotless. It basically vibrated with raw, intense energy. Boss, talk is cheap. Got anything I can actually work on? Let me prove it. The boss raised an eyebrow. Respect. Just follow me. We just got a fresh shipment of iron-hide bears. Process one perfectly in 3 hours. The job is yours. He led him straight into the precision workshop. Totally sterile, sealed, everyone wearing white protective suits. Resting right on a massive hydraulic table was an iron-hide bear, 3 meters long, built exactly like a tank. That skin could literally stop bullets. The bald boss pointed at the monster and clearly stated the rules. Hide peeled flawlessly in one piece. 0 scratches. Gallbladder removed whole. Not a single nick. Paws separated perfectly along the joints. 3 hours. Go. Now, you and I need to watch this closely. He twirled his knife and thought, buddy, you have absolutely no clue how many monsters I have dismantled recently. Let's dance. The veteran workers crowded around like it was a heavy championship match. You could totally hear them placing their silent bets. Think this rookie can handle it? Absolutely no chance. That monster skin sticks like super glue. It literally takes years to learn. Look at those soft hands. He probably cannot even hold the knife steady. Our guy tuned them completely out, stepped right up to the table, and took one deep breath. Everything instantly clicked. His master-level skills combined with enhanced 2-star senses turned that huge bear into a glowing 3D blueprint right in his mind. He could see every weak point, every hidden seam, and every joint gap glowing like a literal cheat code, finding the perfect sweet spot. A tiny patch under the neck, where the heavy armor was the absolute thinnest. He slid his shiny blade in smoothly. Swish. That iron-tough hide that supposedly stops bullets? Under his swift knife, it was basically just tofu. Soft, easy tofu. He moved around the table like a professional dancer, knife flashing incredibly fast, skin peeled off, and bones perfectly separated. Gallbladder smoothly extracted, paws detached right at the joints. 0 hesitation, 0 wasted movement. The trash talking behind him went quiet, super fast. What in the world? Is this kid a reincarnated butcher god? He is not even looking at the joints. How is every single cut landing perfectly inside the cartilage gap? Clang. The very last paw drops. Everything lined up perfectly on the tray like he was presenting fancy sushi. He sheathed the knife and checked the clock. 1.5 hours. And he was intentionally going slow. The boss's jaw hit the floor. He rushed right over, carefully inspecting the hide. Absolutely perfect. 0 scratches. He quickly checked the gallbladder next. Flawless, glowing emerald green. His eyes turned into cartoon $signs. Little brother? No, absolute master Chun. He grabbed his hand exactly like a long-lost son. Welcome to the second facility. Base salary 30,500 credits per bear, plus 2 pounds of free beast meat daily, and massive 80% discounts on everything. Deal. Now, this is exactly where things get genuinely interesting. You and I guessed it. After some experiments, he discovered a massive problem. Beast meat is basically nuclear-powered protein, but also slightly toxic. Normal warriors can only eat tiny amounts before those dangerous toxins start dangerously piling up. That is why purified gene potions cost a fortune. They are the safe version. So, he had to be extremely careful with how much he fed his wife. But for himself, he actually had a completely wild theory. To test it out, he snuck a raw chunk of bear liver right at work and swallowed it. That wild energy hit his body exactly like a massive freight train. His skin tingled for about 2 seconds. Then, his fully perfected purification technique instantly kicked in. His epic thunder breathing technique vibrated right through his organs. One meaty, slightly disgusting burp later, every single trace of that nasty toxin was completely gone. Expelled instantly like his body had a built-in hazard disposal unit. He is literally a walking water filter. He realized he could now eat beast meat like normal daily rice, saving all those ridiculously expensive potions for his sweet wife. Absolutely brilliant. Arriving home, his wife bounced right up to the door. How did it go? He just scooped her into his arms. Babe, your husband never fails. Hired on the spot. 30,000 base, fat commissions, and beast meat at wholesale prices. Simply amazing. She wanted to jump for joy, but remembered the baby, settling for shaking his arm exactly like an excited puppy. She just knew her husband was the absolute best. Then, she noticed his eyes changing. That warm, loving husband look was slowly morphing into something way hungrier, like a hungry wolf. She panicked, bolting for water. So cute. Trust me, you and I definitely need to see what happens next. But tiny rabbits rarely escape hungry wolves at home. One quick sweep, a gentle tug, and she landed right back against my chest. No water needed, I whispered, my nose brushing hers. I'm craving something completely different today. Hold on. Resisting was totally futile. Stick with me here. Later that night, the system absolutely blessed us. 10 shiny development points. 10. I was barely surviving on singles, and suddenly I scored the ultimate jackpot. I did not hesitate for a single split second. System upgrade time. Tiger leopard thunder breathing. Ding. Upgraded to perfected tier instantly. 10 points. Beautifully spent. This technique was my true foundation, my main engine, my everything. Now, it was completely maxed out. I lay resting in the quiet dark, my wife sleeping peacefully nearby, thinking 30,000 salary, 40,000 stipend, free food, toxic immunity, plus a perfected breathing technique. Absolutely amazing for a simple Tuesday. Once thunder breathing hit perfected, my entire skeleton vibrated like a wild tuning fork. Every single bone and marrow cell pumped out fresh, supercharged energy. This was marrow washing, a legendary milestone only elite warriors ever truly achieve. I am a 2-star nobody, yet my bones handled it like an everyday casual Friday. I proudly clenched my fist. Strength and recovery both completely doubled. Beautiful. I still had 11 development points remaining, carefully saving those for later. Instead, I grabbed my phone and finally acted completely responsible. I bought the official license for the powerful thunder breathing technique. 50,000 credits vanished. My wallet screamed, and my poor heart painfully ached. But hey, avoiding nasty lawsuits over a simple breathing exercise is incredibly smart. This really is the modern future. Even martial arts require official licenses. Next day at work, I went completely wild, hunting 6 iron-hide bears in one single day. Now watch closely. Just me, my blade, and a parade of armored bears turning into premium cuts. The finance lady handed me my commission slip like a glowing sacred scroll. 3,000 credits. Amazing for a day of bear surgery. But my shopping spree was not over yet. I marched proudly straight to the employee store. 2 sets of bear paws, 10 pounds of prime meat, and that. I pointed toward the back freezer, where a giant emerald green gallbladder sat glowing brightly like a cursed jewel. Give me that rare gallbladder. The lunch lady blinked. Sweetie, even with your huge discount, that is 10,000. You just earned 3,000 today. Swipe it. 13,000 credits vanished. My bank account suffered a terrible week. But this gallbladder on the underground market, worth 50,000 easily. More importantly, it is a pregnancy superfood. Clears out toxins, strengthens bones, and purifies the baby. For a pregnant warrior wife leveling up, this is liquid gold. Speaking of my amazing wife, right, while fighting bear number 4, the system dinged. Partner Suchinga trained very diligently today. Gene development boosted. She is home, pregnant, still grinding inside the gravity room, earning me free upgrades. This spectacular woman deserves the whole world, or one expensive bear treasure. I arrived home, and the apartment was totally silent, except for a faint training room hum. Of course, she was still working hard. Babe, please stop training. Come out here and receive your treasure. I mean, come receive your special gift. She walked out wearing comfy sweats, forehead glistening with effort, looking incredibly cute. What is with that weird phrasing? She sniffed around. What is inside? Smells intense. You and I feel the hype here. I opened it carefully, unveiling the crown jewels. Layer by layer, dramatic pause, final lid off. A glowing emerald green gallbladder sat there, filling the room with an aggressively bitter, potent medicinal smell. Chinga instantly covered her shocked mouth. Is that an iron hide bear gallbladder? The former rich girl recognized it instantly. Even inside her fancy family, this was legendary tier. How much was this? Only 10,000 with my employee discount. I shrugged incredibly casually. 10,000. She grabbed my sleeve, trying to shut the box. That was your entire monthly salary. Return it or sell it. I gently caught her hand and entered full serious husband mode. Su Chinga, listen here. You have eaten beast meat and cheap potions lately. Your strong body handles toxins, but can our baby? This gallbladder clears out fetal toxins and builds incredibly strong bones. So tell me honestly, is money more important? Or are you and our child? Her eyes turned red instantly. She wasn't crying over the magical gallbladder. She cried because her foolish husband spent every single cent on her without blinking. Please stop crying. Drinking. This completely pays me back today. I punctured the magical gallbladder, squeezing green juice into warm water, adding sweet honey, because I am no monster. Bottoms up. She took a deep breath, tilted her head back, and chugged. Her expressive face cycled through 17 different emotions in seconds. Bitter, so incredibly bitter, then pure relief. A cool wave washed through her body. I watched grayish gunk start seeping from her tiny pores. Toxins escaping. Disgusting? Yes. But you and I find this extremely satisfying. Let us dive in. She asked how I felt. Dreamy eyes, skin totally glowing. Honestly, I felt amazingly light. That heavy feeling totally vanished. 10,000 credits flawlessly spent. My wife got cleared out. The baby snagged premium upgrades. Plus, bear meat for dinner. Being a great husband costs a lot, but man, the rewards are completely unbeatable. That night, I helped Chinga perfectly absorb every single drop of bear energy. Using my perfected thunder breathing, I managed the energy flow flawlessly. I was basically a walking human power source. By dawn, the system dinged 0.4% from her, plus 0.2 from work. Huge daily gain. I actually laughed in my sleep multiple times. Life settled into a gorgeous routine. Every morning, heading to work, dismantling bears like a pure artist. Come home, feed my wife, premium monster groceries, then collect sweet system rewards. While she trained, Chinga was absolutely glowing. Her cultivation steadily climbed toward to star despite her being pregnant. And me? An absolute rocket. 1 month later, checking my stats. 35%. The 3-star threshold is 30. I totally blasted right past it and kept going strong. 4-star starts at 40%. Only 5 away. Veteran guys grinding for 10 years were mostly stuck at 2-star peak. I did this under 2 months. Not cheating, just the absolute power of a happy, amazing marriage. Totally different vibe. Tomorrow was cleanup mission day. Plus, my official appointment with Commander Liu to enter the B rank zone. That C rank pocket money totally lacked punch. Now, my wife needed more premium supplements faster than our baby grew. Only B rank monsters could keep up with her. Now pay attention, because a total cockroach named Wang Kai was sitting in a booth right then, stirring cold coffee, plotting my absolute downfall like a villain. Apparently, this absolute clown had people stalking me. He knew about my slaughterhouse job, knew my massive success, knew I was entering B rank tomorrow. It was completely eating him alive inside. How does some nobody orphan live way better than me? The exact garbage, he thought, while his coffee chilled. His hired thugs, peak 2-star warriors treating B rank zones like their personal backyard, explained the devious plan. B rank territory means deep wilderness, terrible drone coverage, magnetic interference scrambles the cameras, people vanish there constantly, and nobody asks questions. Since Wang Kai was absolute garbage, he wasn't just planning my ruin. Oh no, he was daydreaming about what happens right after. A pregnant wife, zero family support, no income, a lonely girl forced to accept help from a supposedly generous benefactor. He was already fantasizing, looking at my pregnant wife like some investment opportunity. After it finishes, I will double your payment, he told them, literally drooling. Both thugs grin. Crush some cocky newbie outside? Super easy money. B rank zone becomes his permanent downfall. Next year marks his defeat anniversary. Real dramatic stuff. Very cinematic, right? Here is the catch though. You and I know these idiots thought they hunted a rookie. They had zero clue. They were facing a hidden 3-star monster who vibrates out toxins and butchers massive armored bears, like slicing up a birthday cake. I had absolutely no clue about this stuff yet. Just at home cracking knuckles, imagining tomorrow's B rank adventure and grabbing expensive monster parts for my wife. Ignorance really is totally blissful for them. Now, what I completely missed was that Wang Kai's thugs never actually planned to end my life. Turns out thugs have a brain cell. Knife Bro totally smacked his partner the exact second Wang Kai left. You complete idiot. If we actually ruin that kid, Commander Lung will permanently end us. Think that rich kid protects us? Their real plan? Frame a beast attack, leaving breadcrumbs pointing straight back to the Wang family. Apparently, Knife Bro had massive beef with his uncle. He wanted me as bait, sparking a massive war between the Wang family and Lu. Infinite layers of scheming. These arrogant guys genuinely thought they were playing pro-level chess. Huge spoiler. They played basic checkers against someone who already flipped the entire board. Anyway, I had shopping to do. My slaughterhouse knife worked great on dead stuff. But live angry bears outside? Needed upgrades. Hitting the warrior maw, quested blades cutting through 2-star armor. Half an hour and 50,000 credits later, I walked out looking completely different. Sleek black combat suit, matte finish, triple standard defense, plus my black fawn warblade. Trust me, you and I are absolutely ready for this. Stick with me here. My wallet was weeping again, but you never bring butter knives to a bear fight. Next morning, Shingo waited, cradling my new sword like a newborn baby. Her eyes did that thing trying so hard to look brave, yet clearly absolutely terrified. Stay safe. Do not be greedy or show off. If things get sketchy, just run. Finish up and come home. We will wait for dinner. I took the blade, cupped her face, and kissed her properly. Because I am just me. Relax, babe. Think of it as a grocery run. You finished those bear paws, right? Tonight, I will bring fresh ones. Braised. Great for the skin. You and your mouth. She laughed, shoving me toward the elevator. Mission totally accomplished. Worry levels dropped by at least 60%. The second those doors closed, I guarantee she marched straight into gravity training. That woman refuses to just wait around. She wants to get strong enough, so I never have to worry about her either. Honestly, absolute power. Couple goals. Soon, I arrived at Assembly Plaza number 7, the B rank staging zone. Night and day compared to C rank. Fewer people, but every single one of them radiated heavy, I will crush you energy. Commander Lung Yu was waiting at the entrance, rocking a navy blue combat suit. She looked completely ready to bench press a heavy truck. She actually smiled when she saw me. From her, that is basically a standing ovation. I knew you would come, but reaching 2-star this fast. She then handed me my new badge. A 20-year-old to star is incredibly impressive, even in the capital's elite camps. My talent scouting skills are not rusty. Then, she introduced my teammates. Luo Feng, tall guy, crew cut, holding a spear, face like he had never smiled in his entire life. 2-star early stage, Linnea, short hair, sharp eyes, slim build, fancy sword on her hip. Also sitting at 2-star early stage. Lung Yu explained, you are all B rank rookies. I recommend teaming up for your very first run. If you 3 grow into absolute legends, I get credit as your recommender. Win-win, fair enough. I turned to them with a friendly smile, sticking my hand out. Hey, I am Chen. They looked at my hand like I was offering them gross garbage. One very cold nod from Spear Guy. One barely visible head tilt from Sword Girl. That was it. No handshake, 0 words. Just pure, you are beneath us, energy. Arrogance radiating off them like cheap cologne. My hand hung in the air for a solid 2 seconds before I finally pulled it back. I just shrugged. Cool. Do not want to be friends? Watch closely, because here is the secret. These 2 prodigies did not know I was sitting at 35% gene development. That is past 3-star, nearly reaching 4-star. Either one could attack right now, and I would completely handle it with one hand while eating a sandwich. But sure, keep that arrogant attitude. So cute. Meanwhile, over at the C-rank staging area, things were getting incredibly dramatic without me even knowing. Zhang Nan, my neighbor, the girl constantly giving me notice me vibes, was staring at me from across the plaza like I was the main character in her absolute favorite drama, which, to be perfectly fair, I am. Wow, he is already entering B rank. Lung Yu personally recruited him. She sounded super impressed and salty at the exact same time, like biting into a really delicious lemon. Standing next to her was Wang Kai. That cockroach glared at me with enough pure hatred to power a small city, favored by Lung Yu. So what? He muttered, voice dripping with absolute malice. The higher they climb, the harder they fall. Zhang caught the vibe immediately. She is not dumb. Everyone knows Wang Kai is the pettiest man alive. She could practically smell the toxic trap. To her credit, she actually tried warning me, but Wang Kai stood right there, watching her like a paranoid hawk. She hesitated. Was one neighbor worth making an enemy of? A completely rich psycho? Then, Wang Kai got distracted by a lackey running up with some issue. The very second he turned around, Zhang whipped out her phone like a quick gunslinger. Handsome guy, please be careful. Someone might be targeting you. Stay safe. Send, and done. She exhaled like she just defused a bomb. Then she looked up at me expectantly, waiting for what? You and I both expected a dramatic nod of thanks here, right? My watch buzzed. I read the text, looked up, found her in the heavy crowd, and gave her absolutely nothing. Just one flat, emotionless glance, like she was a lamppost. Then I turned around, walking into B-rank territory without so much as a nod. I could feel pure rage completely radiating from her direction. Look, I am not ungrateful. I simply had bigger things on my mind than texting. Thanks to a woman I barely know while walking into dangerous monster territory. Plus, my wife has supernatural jealousy. Radar. I'm not opening that dangerous can of worms. But apparently, Zhang took it very personally. I heard she stomped her foot, looked down at her own admittedly impressive figure, touched her face, and had a full existential crisis about whether she was attractive enough. Then she stormed off, cursing my name. Good heart treated like garbage? Fine. Perish for all I care. Saves me a headache. Trust me, you will love this inside B-rank territory. The team dissolves instantly. Stick with me. We are diving right in. Spear Guy and Sword Girl just stared. 0 words spoken. They both vanished opposite ways, like he was cursed. But honestly, totally fine by him. Classic lone wolf mode. He barely walked 10 steps before clanging echoed ahead. Peeking through the dense bushes, he spotted Lu Feng battling a massive iron hide bear. Honestly, credit where it is due. His footwork looked flashy, spinning around the beast like a spear-wielding dancer, poking tiny holes and dodging massive heavy swipes. But those hits, literal scratches and paper cuts. He was basically giving the monster acupuncture. Or maybe a weird pedicure. Our guy watched, totally confused. If that was him, one clean ankle slash, instantly immobilized. Second strike, piercing the lung, draining it out. Third hit, game over. 15 seconds, tops. The spear guy danced around forever, leaving the beast way more annoyed than actually hurt. Shaking his head, our MC just kept walking past. Not his circus, not his weird acupuncture bear. Of course, Lu Fong noticed him leaving, and naturally, instead of wondering if our MC actually knew some hidden secret, his arrogant thought was, peasant, that guy clearly cannot appreciate the beauty of my dragon steps. A basic butcher like him could never comprehend true martial arts. Neither he nor Lin are even worthy of becoming my rivals. And then, this actually happened. The guy literally thought to himself, my only true opponent is myself. Buddy, my guy, you have been poking a giant beast with the toothpick for 20 minutes. Your only true opponent is your absolute denial. About 1 kilometer deep into the woods, massive trees grew tall enough to block all the sunlight, giving off absolute horror movie level vibes. Now, pay close attention here. Heavy footsteps dropped fast, branches snapping like toothpicks. Out of the bushes stepped his old rival, 3 meters tall, jet black fur glowing with a metallic sheen. Tiny crimson eyes, packing pure. I am going to destroy you. Energy. A prime adult iron-hide bear, packing peak 2-star strength. Roar. It screamed in his face so intensely that fallen leaves blasted into the air. Its breath literally smelled like a dumpster fire mixed with a toxic sewage plant. Any normal 2-star rookie would have melted into a puddle of panic and sprinted away. But him? He smiled, like a genuine, confident smirk, because he just saw a coworker. Well, if it is not his buddy. He had been seeing its relatives lying on his cutting table every single day. Nice to finally meet a living one. He simply crossed his arms and intensely studied it. Did not even draw his weapon. After carving up hundreds of these beasts at work, he knew this monster's anatomy better than his own. Knowing exactly where the armor is thickest, where it is tender, and the main artery. In his eyes, this terrifying apex predator was just a walking diagram covered in dotted lines, labeled exactly where to slash. The bear did not appreciate being sized up. It roared loud, reared up high, and swung both giant paws at his skull like twin falling sledgehammers. One clean hit would have squashed his head into a total pancake. Too slow. He slid half a step sideways. Zero flashy moves, just pure surgical precision, letting the paws whoosh right past his ear. Blade out. One bright flash of steel. He never bothered hacking its thick armor. Instead, he smoothly slipped his blade directly under its raised giant armpit. There is a tiny white mark right where the lymph node meets the main artery, the single gap in its entire defense. Slash, like hot knife through butter. Crimson geyser. The beast screamed. But he was already inside its guard, flowing around its massive frame like a literal waltz. Slash between the ribs, slash the abdominal nerve cluster, and slash both ankle tendons. You and I both felt that impact. 3 seconds, 3 slashes, and 3 tons of absolute nightmare simply collapsed. Legs twitching, lungs punctured, tendons totally severed. It could not stand, could not roar, doing nothing but crying out. Wondering how this tiny human knew its anatomy better than it did. First target down. Payday starts now. He was feeling incredible. Beautiful day. Beautiful takedown. Beautifully busy. Then his ears caught it. 100 meters. Right behind him. 2 sets of fast, nervous breathing and leaves rustling in a way wind never causes. He did not turn around. Kept bending over the bear carcass, acting oblivious. But underneath that calm exterior, his mouth already curved into a cold smirk. That was super fast, Wong Kai. Meanwhile, up in a tree 100 meters back, 2 extremely nervous assassins were having a complete crisis. The bigger guy was practically choking. That was a completely full-grown iron hide bear. He finished it in 3 seconds flat. That knife technique, like he possessed X-ray vision, going straight for every single gap, like reading a detailed map. Knife Bro gripped his binoculars so intensely his knuckles turned pure white. Wong Kai's intel is absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. Not a 2-star rookie. That explosive power, that accuracy, he is knocking on 3 stars door. Should we bail? This feels extremely bad. Knife bro hesitated. He stared at our guy's back, relaxed, totally unaware, and perfectly exposed. Greed finally won. We go now. He just burned energy fighting that bear, probably careless. So what do we think? Two veterans versus our guy in a blind zone. Trust me, you want this next chapter. Stick with me. You and I are about to watch these fools make a huge mistake. That back belongs to a hidden 3-star beast who just wrecked your worst nightmare in 3 seconds flat. But sure, come on down. I'm not moving an inch. The breeze shifted. Not a natural breeze. A lethal one. Goodbye. The big guy dropped like a crazy lumberjack. His massive battle axe aimed straight for the back of my skull. At the exact same time, the knife guy slithered down, totally silent. Twin poison daggers targeting both my kidneys. Flawlessly coordinated. Lethal against a normal rookie? Absolutely. Against me? Pure comedy. See, they actually thought I was totally relaxed and caught off guard. Adorable. I had been hearing them breathing up in that tree for the last 2 minutes. I was literally just waiting for them to jump. That axe was half a meter from my head when I looked up. Not panicked. Not scared. Just super amused. I was waiting for you. Then I activated my favorite party trick. Tiger Leopard Thunder Roar. Perfected level. Absolute booming volume. This was not a normal scream. My internal organs and vessels vibrated at a wild frequency. That turns a normal brain into completely scrambled eggs. A sonic shockwave, point-blank range, blasting right into both their eardrums. Boom. Both of them totally froze mid-air, like someone hit the pause button. Eyes went blank. Energy flow disrupted. The attack stalled for 1 precious second. Watch closely. 1 second is all I need. I ducked under the frozen axe, angled my blade upward, found the tiny gap between the big guy's armor plates at the armpit. Same exact sweet spot as those bears, and drove it home, straight through the lung and chest. Finished. His eyes went wide as dinner plates. The axe simply slipped from his fingers. Crimson sprayed through his hands like a broken faucet. He dropped to his knees and face planted, gone completely cold before he hit the ground. 1 second. 1 perfect strike. The knife guy screamed out loud. I watched the exact moment his brain switched from pure attack to oh no. The color drained right out of his face so incredibly fast. I thought he might faint. This is no rookie. This is 3-star. He set us up. He spun and bolted fast for the trees. Smart choice. Too late, though. Leaving already? Nope. I pushed off the ground so hard, the dirt literally cratered under my feet. At 35% gene development, my speed absolutely demolished his 28%. 2 seconds, and I was right behind him. Wait, do not strike. I was hired by, I know. My blade did not hesitate. 1 incredibly clean horizontal stroke. His head left. His body, spinning into the air exactly like a very ugly basketball. The headless body stumbled forward a few steps on pure momentum before totally flopping face first. Right into the mud. I flicked the crimson off my blade. You feel me? Honestly, I had stronger emotional reactions to just carving bears at work. These two were just simple garbage disposal. But I am a law-abiding citizen, so I immediately tapped the emergency button on my watch. This is Chuni B Zone, coordinates 03. 2 Peak 2 Star Warriors just ambushed me. Both eliminated, requesting support. Short, clean, professional. 5 minutes later, boom. A streak of dark blue screamed across the evening sky and slammed into the clearing like a glowing meteor. Lung Yu. She looked absolutely ready to destroy whoever had messed with her recruit. Right behind her, enforcement officers totally fanned out. And then, huffing and puffing, Lu Feng and Linnea arrived. What exactly happened? What was all that? Suddenly, Lu Feng stopped talking, stopped moving, and probably stopped breathing. Linnea clapped both hands over her mouth at the scene right in front of them. 1 defeated Iron High Bear with surgical precision wounds. 1 fallen guy with a totally caved-in chest. Another taken out guy whose head was sitting several feet away from his body. Neck smooth like a perfect mirror cut. And me standing off to the side, just calmly wiping my sword with a cloth. Not a scratch on me, breathing perfectly normal, like I just finished folding laundry. Lu Feng recognized the fallen men's gear. Peak 2-star veteran equipment. These were not amateurs. These were experienced fighters. And they fell in mere seconds against the brute. He had been mocking me an hour ago. I could practically hear his internal monologue collapsing like a house of cards. My only true opponent is myself. Brother, after today, I'm pretty sure his only true opponent is his own therapist. He and Linnea looked at each other. All that arrogance from earlier simply evaporated, instantly replaced by raw, honest terror. Funny how a little head removal changes people's entire attitudes. Lung Yu crouched over the bodies, and I could see her getting angrier with every second. She carefully examined the wounds like a detective at a real crime scene. Clean throat strike, clean heart puncture, zero wasted movement, pure battle technique. Then she looked at me with this expression that perfectly said, I thought I recruited a talented rooker, not a walking war crime. She clearly knew these guys. They had major criminal records on the black market. 2 peak, 2-star veterans, and I turned them into abstract modern art. This is bigger than a random attack, she said, with pure ice in her voice. What do we make of this? Someone sent hitmen after a warrior. Serious crime. She quickly waved her hand like a strict general. Bag the bodies. Seal the scene. Collect everything. Stick with me here. Chini, you are coming for a statement. Mission cancelled. Everyone out. We boarded the hover ship while Luo Fong and Lin Sa trailed behind like totally stunned little ducklings. I could feel them staring at my back with entirely different energy than just this morning. Funny how defeating an enemy completely resets respect levels. At the Warrior Association, I got escorted to a special interrogation room. Cold metal walls and harsh lighting gave total trouble vibes. Except I was absolutely fine. I was the victim. A heavily armed victim. The interrogator was Captain Lile Lingeling, and wow, totally remembered her. She was the law enforcement officer handling that big incident at our old apartment complex. 2 months ago, back when I was just a total nobody. She saw me as a green kid with high potential. Now, she stared at her tablet, showing 2-star warrior looking at me like I was some crazy alien. This woman had trained for years, and was only at 22% gene development. I passed her in 2 months. Plus, my solo defeat of 2 peak 2-star attackers instantly probably was not helping her self-esteem. It was pure self-defense. Commander Lung can vouch for you, she stated, trying to sound completely professional. But we must follow procedure. Any idea who sent them after you? I leaned back in my chair, fingers laced on the table. Calm, collected, like ordering coffee, I said Wong Kai. Then I laid it all out. The restaurant confrontation and that arrogant trash talk at crank staging. The suspicious tales in the field that backed off when drones appeared. Clear motive, clear means, and clear opportunity. I presented it like a lawyer closing a case. Not like a guy who almost got totally smashed in the head 20 minutes ago. Lile Lingeling was impressed by my composure. I think she expected crying or rage. Instead, she got a masterclass on attempted takedown logistics. Then, knock, knock. A tech officer burst in and quickly whispered something in her ear. He handed over a freshly printed report. Her face went through about 6 colors in 2 seconds. Turns out the tech team cracked the attacker's encrypted phone. Inside, they found deleted chat logs. And guess what was in there? A bank transfer for 50,000 credits. Sender Wong Kai note, down payment, and a draft message that was never sent. Do not worry, young Master Kai. Bison will be his final resting place. Boom. Case closed. Evidence so solid you could build a house on it. Money trail, communications, motive. Watch closely now. This textbook hired attack attempt is exactly where the situation got highly political. Lile Lingeling held that report like it was an active grenade. Because Wong Kai is not just some random rich idiot. He is the nephew of Wang Jiang, a senior official at the Warrior Association. Same rank as Lung, maybe even more political pull in some areas. Everyone knows Wang Jiang and Lung Yu have been butting heads for long years. So now, the math was, Lung Yu's prized recruit was nearly eliminated by Wang Jiang's nephew. This was not a criminal case anymore. This was a massive political bomb with a lit fuse. I watched Lile Lingeling rub her temples like developing a huge migraine in real time. She looked at me with an expression clearly saying, kid, you are just a total walking disaster magnet. Then she took a deep breath and quickly made her call. Do not file this through normal channels. Send it directly to Commander Lung Yu. This is above our pay grade. Translation: I'm not touching this grenade. Let the big dogs fight it out. Very smart woman. I just sat there, perfectly calm, waiting for the massive storm to begin. Wong Kai, buddy, you transferred 50,000 credits with your real name, left a paper trail a little child could follow, and your attacker saved a draft message bragging about destroying me. A criminal mastermind. This guy definitely was not. You and I know the fallout is crazy. I was not there, but heard about it later. Honestly, it was better than any drama series. First, Lung Yu read the report. She punched her desk so hard she left a huge dent in solid alloy. This woman is a 6-star warrior. That desk probably cost way more than my apartment. Someone attacked my recruit in my zone and tried framing me. Apparently, the air in her office got so thick with furious battle intent that her subordinates could barely breathe. Note to self, never make this terrifying woman angry ever. Meanwhile, across town, the star of our comedy, Wong Kai, was hiding in a private club, pacing nervously like a cockroach, knowing the lights are turning on. Why have they not called back? It has been 3 hours. Both attackers' phones are off. No messages, no updates, just silence. The absolute kind of silence, meaning your hired goons failed, and your easy life is completely over. Then the door slammed open and in walked his father, Wong Gang, looking like he was about to unleash absolute fury. Behind him, Wong Kai's mother, crying, mascara running everywhere, and bringing up the rear, the big boss himself, Uncle Wong Jiang, a highly senior official at the Warrior Association. The man who is supposed to be the Wong family's shield and sword. Trust me, we just watched Wong Jiang rolling walnuts, which is apparently what powerful old men do when calculating how to permanently exile a family member. Whack! His father crossed the room in 3 steps, smacking him so hard, Wong Kai spun like an absolute top. Half his face swelled up almost instantly. Red dripped from the corner of his mouth. And this was the gentle version. Stick with me here, his dad struck first, because if Uncle Wong Jiang intervened, Wong Kai was finished. The man is a high-rank warrior. One hit meant instant game over. D.O. You know what you did. His father was shaking with rage, spit flying absolutely everywhere. You hired 2 peak, 2-star mercenaries to eliminate a rookie, and they got completely crushed. The association already has your phone records, your bank transfers, your chat messages, everything points directly at you. You attacked a guy Long we personally recruited. Have you completely lost your mind? Wham! Another strike for good measure. Wong Kai's brain was still totally buffering. Defeated? Gone? But they were peak 2-star. And Shuni is just. He's really just a freeloader. Wait. Who? A freeloader? His dad nearly exploded. That guy was playing dumb the entire time. And you fell for it like a massive fool. You're the real disappointment here. Reality finally hit Wong Kai like a massive freight train. If convicted of hiring mercenaries to eliminate a rising warrior, that's definitely not just prison time. Now, pay close attention here. That means losing his status and becoming frontline fodder. Basically a guaranteed one-way ticket to doom. So he did what any brave, dignified guy would do. He crawled right across the floor, grabbed his uncle's leg, and sobbed like a toddler. Uncle, please save me. You're a senior official. You can just delete the evidence, right? Simply erase the records and I'm fine, right? Uncle Wong Yung looked down at this absolute blubbering mess, clinging to his leg, showing an expression of pure, unhidden disgust. Delete it? Wham! He kicked Wong Kai in the chest so incredibly hard, the kid flew across the room, and violently smashed into the wall. Spit sprayed from his mouth like a fountain. Son, Zhao Kai. Both parents frantically rushed to scrape their boy off the floor. Wong Kai's mother, makeup running down to her chin, turned to Wong Jiang with absolute desperation in her trembling voice. What if we just let him run? Another city? The underground market? Hide until this entire thing blows over. Wong Jiang's response could have frozen lava. Run? Every single surveillance system in the city already has his face flagged. If he runs, it's fleeing from justice. That makes it way worse. Then it's not just him who falls. The entire Wong family gets labeled as accomplices. Hundreds of people dragged down because of this entirely worthless nephew. You want to sacrifice the entire clan for him? Silence. Total, utterly devastating silence. Let that sink in for a second. Wong Kai just sat there in a messy puddle, finally understanding his 50,000 credit elimination attempt. just planted a nuclear bomb under his entire family. And me? I was probably at home by then, eating dinner with my wife, happily telling her work was completely uneventful. Wong Kai buddy, you transferred money with your real name. Your mercenary saved a draft message about attacking me, and you picked a target who was secretly 3-star level, absolute speedrun to the rock-bottom world record. From what I pieced together later, after Uncle Wang Jiang stormed out, he left Wong Kai with exactly one single option: crawl to me and beg. Get a forgiveness letter from the victim. Kneel proudly. Let him step right on your face if he wants to. If he doesn't sign it, you're entirely on your own. The Wong family will cut you loose faster than a bad stock. Wong Kai's mother literally collapsed to her knees, openly begging. Wong Kai was hugging his uncle's shoes exactly like a drowning man gripping a life raft. Red still dripping from his mouth, snot and tears everywhere. Truly dignified stuff. But hey, that was their problem. I had a loving wife to get home to. By the time I reached our apartment, it was already evening. Chinga had been staring at the clock all day long, slowly losing her entire mind. Zero signal in bank territory. Then, that lengthy interrogation at the association. My phone was on silent for hours. She'd been texting me with absolute zero replies. I rang the doorbell and the door flew open so incredibly fast I thought she'd ripped it off. The hinges. Pregnant women can move like Olympic sprinters. Then she saw me, perfectly fine, without a scratch, holding a giant cooler box. She just crashed into my chest, buried her face in my shirt and started crying. You scared me. Why didn't you answer? I thought you were gone. I dropped the box and wrapped my arms around her, patting her back. I'm sorry, babe. Zero signal in B-zone. Then the association paperwork just took forever. Look at me, not even a tiny paper cut. She pulled back, inspected me head to toe like a strict quality control officer, confirmed I was intact, then punched my chest. Do that again, and I'm taking the baby and leaving. Yes, ma'am. Never, ever again. I carefully nudged the cooler box with my foot. But first, look what I brought home. She crouched down, popped the lid, cold mist rolled out, and there they were. 2 absolutely massive iron hide bear paws, each one the size of a dinner plate, perfectly clean, gleaming paws fresh from the boss bear himself. Tonight, your amazing husband is cooking braised bear paws. Collagen City, your skin will glow. She went from crying to grinning fast. You and I just witnessed a perfect ending. Stick with me. We are starting with an incredibly delicious bear paw dinner date. Ching was making happy little sounds with every single bite. Pure food joy. Then suddenly, she just put her chopsticks down. You said you only did a report at the association. Just the mission? Because the news reported B-Zone got locked down today. Something about a massive incident. I did not even flinch. Just placed broccoli in her bowl. Oh, those 2 idiots tried to steal my target. They were totally awful at it. I handled them. Lung handled the rest. No big deal. I said it like I was describing a simple traffic incident, not 2 crushed attackers. But Ching is very sharp. Way too sharp. Was it Wong Kai? I looked right at her. Those eyes missed nothing. Probably, I admitted. But do not worry. He kicked an iron wall today. Lung Yu is fully involved now. The Wong family will have a totally terrible week. I gently rubbed her belly and switched to my absolute sunshine smile. Let us just enjoy our bear paws, protect our baby, and do some evening exercises. Exercises, you know, training, cultivation, or cardio. Her face instantly went tomato red. I am pregnant, you pervert. Pregnant women need moderate exercise. Doctor orders. Since when are you a doctor? Buzz. Suddenly, my phone loudly rang. Perfect timing. Every single time. An unknown number. My gut totally said this was going to be annoying. My gut was right. Watch closely. I hit speaker so Ching could hear his completely annoying voice. And even after getting tossed around by his entire family, completely crushed, and told his future was basically ruined, this clown still had serious attitude. It is Wong Kai. Today was a simple misunderstanding. My uncle told me to negotiate. 3 million credits. That is plenty for a poor nobody like you to live on forever. Sign the forgiveness letter, drop the charges, and I hung up. Did not let him finish his sentence. Just click. Gone. Bye. Ching looked really worried. Are you sure about this? That is the Wong family, and 3 million is massive money. 3 million? I almost laughed out loud. Is he tipping a simple beggar? I pulled her close and broke it down smoothly. Babe, just think about this legally. Hiring sneaky attackers to eliminate a warrior the association is personally training? That is a major crime. Under the warrior compensation law for an attack this serious, the standard forgiveness letter payout is 10 times the victim's annual income. I started counting on my fingers. Last month at the second outpost, salary plus commissions, I easily made 150,000. That is 1.8 million a year, times 10. I grinned incredibly wide. 18 million credits. Ching sucked in air so intensely, she would vacuum the curtains off the windows. They would actually pay that? She nervously stammered. They do not have a choice here. Unless Uncle Wang Jiang wants to watch his nephew get shipped to the brutal front lines forever, or watch his whole family get publicly ruined. I proudly leaned back like a king on his throne. Trust me on this, I will squeeze them totally dry. Plus, 18 million buys premium gene potions, fully securing our baby's future. Maybe even a much bigger apartment. She stared at me with an expression that clearly said, my husband is terrifying, but also an absolute genius. Then I stood up, gently grabbed her wrist, and pulled her right toward the bathroom. Enough serious business talk. We just ate a huge mountain of bear paw. Time for proper digestion. Let us shower. What? No, I just ate. Exactly. Hot water really aids absorption. It is science. That is not science. Shen Yi, you rascal. Protest denied. Court adjourned. Meanwhile, back at Wang Kai's fancy hideout, the drama unfolding was honestly spectacular. Wang Kai stood there gripping his phone, his face cycling through emotions like a broken slot machine. Pure shock, confusion, then completely volcanic rage. That street orphan, that trash picker, I just offered him 3 million, and he hung up on me. He furiously turned to his dad. He does not know what is good for him. I will call again and smack. His angry father cracked him across the face incredibly hard. Fresh bruises joined the harsh marks already resting there. This kid's face was basically a total Jackson Pollock painting at this point. I strictly told you to beg. Beg? Does any of that sound like begging to you? You called him a poor nobody. You said misunderstanding. You tried to buy him like a cheap servant. That fierce man just defeated 2 armed attackers with his bare hands. Plus, Lung Yu is backing him. Yet you act superior? His mother instantly rushed in crying. Stop hitting him. Shen Yi is the unreasonable one. Our son offered 3 million, and smack. Wang Gang was so furious. He accidentally backhanded his own wife. Yeah, that is where we were. Dad slapping son. Dad slapping mom. Everyone heavily bruised. Everyone loudly crying. So what do we learn here? Always be the guy in the warm shower, happily calculating spending 18 million credits. Life is so good when you are on the right side of the forgiveness letter. So, here is what I missed. While I was safely in the shower with my wife, Wang Kai went totally insane. Right after I hung up, his dad ruthlessly kept slapping him. His mom tried to intervene. His dad accidentally slapped his mom too. Stick with me here. You are about to watch Wang Kai, an absolute genius, strike his own dad so hard the man flew 3 meters into a glass table, completely knocked out cold. A 1-star warrior attacking a regular businessman. What a brave champion. Foaming at the mouth like a wild dog, he yelled to forget the apology letter. He would eliminate Chini himself, wiping out his entire family. If everyone is gone, who is going to sue me? Pure criminal mastermind logic. Eliminate the witness to fix the original crime charge. An outstanding plan. He yanked the door open to storm out, and Lu was standing right there. Standing there with her arms down, ice blue hair floating in a phantom wind. Because 6-star warriors apparently come with their own weather systems. Behind her stood a full squad of armed officers with their weapons pointed directly at him. She held up a paper stamped in bright red. Wang Kai. A rank arrest warrant for the hired targeting of a registered official warrior. Come with me. His legs instantly turned to jelly. He collapsed to his knees right in the doorway, forgetting all that talk about destroying everyone. His fierce energy completely evaporated, replaced by a sobbing, messy kid being dragged out by 2 officers like a heavy sack of potatoes. Uncle, Dad, save me. I do not want to disappear. 2 seconds ago, he literally knocked his father totally unconscious. And now, he is screaming for daddy. Such an incredible character arc. His mom tried to chase him, but got blocked. She nearly fainted. His dad crawled from the broken glass, coughing heavily in pain, and immediately realized this was their absolute last chance. If the case goes official, it is over. The ultimate penalty via harsh frontline deployment. Only one desperate move left. Now here is where it gets interesting. He had to call and beg properly this time. Meanwhile, I had just carried Chingo from the bathroom. She was draped over my shoulder like a sleepy cat, completely flushed and soft, quietly mumbling that she told me not to. She used that cute pouty voice. I replied, "That is just work-life balance, babe." I barely put her down when the phone buzzed again. 20 minutes since Wong Kai called. I answered on speaker and said nothing. I just let the heavy silence do its thing. Heavy breathing echoed on the other end. Then a broken, exhausted voice spoke up. "Mr. Chin, am Wong Gang, Wong Kai's father." Shinga tensed up and grabbed my arm. I patted her hand, signaling it was fine. I stayed quiet, just waiting. Every single second of silence was another crack in this man's dignity. "Mr. Chun, it is my fault. I raised him wrong. He is already arrested. I know his actions are unforgivable. I know you are furious, but he is my only son." His shaky voice completely cracked. Full crying now. This guy who was a huge businessman yesterday was sobbing into a phone, covered in injuries after getting struck by his own kid. "Please, please show some mercy. Whatever conditions you want. Absolutely whatever price. The 3 million my foolish son mentioned does not count. He is clueless. You just name your number. I will sell everything I own if necessary." I know what you are thinking, right? I listened with a blank face. Show mercy? Let me think. If those attackers had eliminated me today, would Wong Kai have shown any mercy to my pregnant wife? Would he have left her alone? We both know the answer, but I am not stupid. Wong Kai is already arrested. That is guaranteed. The real question now was, do I let him rot for free, or squeeze every last credit from this family first? Payback is deeply satisfying, but payback plus 18 million credits? That is a brilliant retirement plan. I looked at Chinga resting in our warm bed, holding her belly, our baby, our entire future. Then I glanced back at the phone where a completely desperate father was anxiously waiting for me to speak. I let him wait just a little longer. Time to finally negotiate. And by negotiate, I mean letting a rich man ruin himself on speakerphone while my wife listens in her bathrobe. I finally spoke up. "Mr. Wong, since you are sincere, let me be totally straight. Your son tried a 2-for-1 deal on me and my pregnant wife. She has been so stressed out lately. She has pregnancy complications. So we are talking emotional damages, medical costs, and lost income. We will pay absolutely everything. Just name your price." I smirked and started tapping my finger on the wooden nightstand. Tap, tap, tap. Nice and slow. Pure psychological warfare. You see, Mr. Wong, kicking the ball back to me is not actual sincerity. Translation: you say the number first, so I can tell you it is far too low. I could literally hear the man's soul leaving his exhausted body through the phone. If he goes too low, I hang up and his son rots. Too high, and the entire family goes broke. What an absolutely beautiful dilemma. 10 million. Chinga's body jolted like she had been electrocuted. Her nails dug into my arm so hard I almost yelled. Her eyes went into full saucer mode. 10 million. She was instantly ready to scream yes. I quickly placed my finger gently on her lips. Shush. Then I hit Wong Gown with the coldest voice I could manage. "Mr. Wong, if you think your son's future is only worth 10 million, there is nothing to discuss. Clearly, he matters more to you than family. Let him reflect on that in prison. Goodbye." Wait. Do not hang up. The man sounded like his heart was being forcefully ripped, right through the phone speaker. 20 million credits, Mr. Chun. That is our family's entire cash flow. And trust me, you and I are going to love what happens next. Let's dive in. Selling property takes months, he gasped. I could hear the pure desperation in his heavy breathing. He was totally tapped out. Push any harder, and he might snap completely. It was time to close. I sighed dramatically. Total Oscar-worthy performance. Well, since you are a devoted father, 20 million works. Boom. The money instantly hit my account. The forgiveness letter goes out. Mr. Wong, Keep your boy away. Next time, money will not save him, he quickly agreed. Thank you, Mr. Chun, he pleaded. Click. But I was not done. Before celebrate, I called up Lung Yu. I'm no fool. Commander, Wang Kai's father just offered me 20 million for a forgiveness letter. Before I sign, will this ruin your plans against Wang Jiang? See, this whole epic showdown was way bigger than just us. It was a massive chess match between Lung Yu and Wang Jiang. If she wanted to use this case to politically crush the Wang family, my letter would totally ruin everything. And I was definitely not about to backstab the 6-star warrior who had been protecting me for a quick payday. The line went totally quiet. Then Lung Yu laughed. The Ice Queen laughed. Shani, calling me before cashing that check proves you are incredibly smart and fiercely loyal. Most people would have just grabbed the cash and bolted. My chest puffed up proudly. Not going to lie. Take the money, she said. The forgiveness letter just slightly reduces his sentence. No ultimate punishment, no life sentence, but it never erases the crime. He is still falling, and you need those resources for 3-star. Consider it your grand war trophy. I will handle the rest. Yes, ma'am. Thanks. She hung up the phone. Efficient, as always. I turned around and found Chinga frozen perfectly still, staring like I just pulled off an impossible magic trick right before her eyes. All clear. Lung Yu approved. It. Completely legal, legitimate, and ours. Snap. Then my phone buzzed. Warrior account ending 8899 received a 20 million credit transfer. Boom. Chinga crawled over, happily counting zeros. Her lips moved silently. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 20 million sweet credits. Watch closely now. A few days ago, we stressed over 5,000 credit medicine. Now, 21 million sat beautifully in the bank. Honey, we are insanely rich. Formula, school, everything is completely covered. Formula? I chuckled. Babe, we are upgrading everything. No more deep blue potions. Now, we drink purple crystal. 10,000 a bottle. The absolute premium stuff. She was glowing, literally glowing, partly from collagen, partly from the 20 million, and partly from our amazing earlier activities. Then I leaned in with my signature cheeky grin. Now, about that shower we never finished. Normally, this is exactly where she would smack me. But tonight, my beautiful wife checked that crazy bank balance, looked back at me, wrapped her arms around my neck, and hit me with stunning eyes I never even knew she had for 20 million. Permission granted. That is my girl. Best Tuesday ever. The Gloria system notifications were absolute music. An absolute symphony. I will skip the details. But let us just say the evening was wonderfully productive. Afterward, Chinga draped over me like a cozy blanket, catching her breath, face glowing redder than a tomato. Eventually, she gathered enough energy to ask something actually important. The legendary thunder breathing technique. Did you buy the license? Official store. Permanent authorization. Totally bulletproof. Good. Then she went full martial arts advisor. You and I know what is coming. My old tutor said thunder, breathing easily, carries you right past 50% gene development. But never think about adding a second technique until you reach at least 35%. She highly recommended the first 3 levels of 9-layer golden body to strengthen bones and meridians for intense vibrations. I nodded thoughtfully, because here is the joke. My epic upgraded tiger leopard thunder breathing already handles the intense bone and meridian strengthening part. It completely covers what that golden body technique does, meaning I am already ahead of the game without extra supplements. But the truly funny part was next. You are only around 25%. No rushing, Chinga lectured. When you eventually hit 35%, we can talk. What if I said I am already at 35%? 3 silent seconds. She stared, then she rolled her eyes so incredibly hard, I thought they might get stuck. Sure, and I am the majestic Empress of Mars. She pinched my side. You were at 25% half a month ago. You jumped 10% in 2 weeks. What? Are you soaking in magical evolution juice? In her defense, she trained tirelessly, and only went from 10 to 12%. Meanwhile, I claim massive gains that make a factory jealous. Nobody ever believes the amazing truth anymore. I sighed, clutching my chest dramatically. Even my sweet wife doubts my strength. Ah, The sheer loneliness of being an absolute genius. She burst out laughing, pulled the cozy blanket over her face, and told me to go shower because I totally smelled like a gym. And that is a wrap for today. Let us shower together. I have zero energy left. I am completely wiped. She tightly gripped that blanket. Stick with me here. Her cute protest wasn't stopping me. I scooped her up blanket and all like an eagle grabbing a rabbit. One shake of the covers and there she was, cradled right in my arms like a princess. You animal, put me down. Tiny fists rained on my shoulders like angry popcorn. Protest denied. Sometime much later, Chinga was totally boneless, just melting across my chest while I scrolled through the Warrior equipment store on my phone. Time for a massive upgrade. I've been hitting way above my current gear's weight class. I zeroed right in on the Series 30 standard gear, built for warriors sitting between 30 and 39% development. The pros? Insanely tough, solid price. The cons? Looks like something your grandpa would wear. The warrior community literally calls it old man armor. 0 style points. But hey, practical. Why buy flashy designer gear when I'm leveling up this ridiculously fast? Series 30 works until I hit 40%. Chinga peeked over at my screen. Shouldn't you pick a combat technique first? Your weapon needs to match your style. Imagine picking a spear art after buying a giant sword. Smart woman. She actually had a really good point. My current butcher knife technique, basically expert dissection arts, was totally self-taught. From carving up monsters. Effective? Sure, but compared to top-tier warrior combat techniques, it definitely had huge gaps. She was right. I needed expert advice. Watch closely here. I opened the Warrior app and went straight to the premium consultation page, scrolling past all these fancy titles until hello, Lung Yu, Peak 6-star warrior and Nanjang Warrior Association supervisor. Status online. The fee? 100,000 credits a day, including an in-person meeting and private training room. Guidance. Yesterday, that price would have made me pass out. Today, with 20 million saved, that is absolute pocket change. 100,000 credits to train with the 6-star beast. 2 weeks ago, that was pure fantasy money. Now, it's basically a rounding error. I hit book, and boom, paid in a single tap. Then I messed up and told my wife, babe, I booked a session with Commander Lung Yu at her private room tonight. Chinga's sleepy eyes snapped to full alert instantly. She stared right at Lung Yu's profile photo. Gorgeous, ice cold, totally magazine cover material. Her voice instantly dropped 10 degrees. Wow, what a pretty lady. Then 2 fingers pinched my waist with absolute surgical precision. Ow, babe, she is my boss. She saved my life. It's strictly a professional martial arts thing. Go, but come back fast. Don't flirt. She's a 6-star warrior. Annoy her, and she will literally snap you in half. Yes, ma'am. Pure military-grade professionalism here. I promise. Right then, my phone rang. Lung Yu herself. Come over. I approved it and refunded the 100,000. Most people would hear free money and think jackpot. But Chinga taught me elite etiquette well, and my instincts fully agreed. We both know the truth. Free lessons from a powerhouse isn't a discount. It's a heavy debt. And favors from top-tier fighters cost way more than cash. Commander, I absolutely cannot accept that. Rules are rules. If I don't pay up, I can't ask the hard questions. I will keep rescinding it until you accept. Total silence. Then she sighed. Do whatever you want. Just get over here. After she hung up, Chinga was nodding in total approval. You did the right thing. Paying keeps everything super clean. She'll respect you more for insisting. You avoid an impossible favor, and she will actually teach you. Seriously. Debts cost way more than 100,000 credits. I kissed her. This is why I married an heiress. That elite education really hits different. Shut up and go. 20 minutes later, I stood outside Lung Yu's training room. 300 meters of pure martial arts space. Deep, gray, shock-absorbing alloy floors everywhere. And right in the center, sitting cross-legged on a circular platform, was Lung Yu. White training clothes instead of her usual armor, blue hair pooling everywhere. She looked far less like a commander and more like a meditating ice goddess. She opened her eyes and actually smirked. I got the money. You're much more socially savvy than I expected. I prefer respecting my teachers, Commander. Enough talking. She stood up, and the entire room suddenly felt squeezed by some invisible giant. 6-star aura pressure is absolutely no joke. I took your money, so let's see what you can do. She pointed at the rack. Pick a weapon. Hit me with everything. She just stood there, hands casually behind her back. Zero defense. But trust me, you'd feel it too. Attacking her felt like jumping into a black hole. I grabbed my alloy knife. I activated internal thunder breathing, though I totally held back the tiger leopard upgrade. No need to reveal all my trump cards today. Trust me, you and I are about to witness something wild. I launched using my perfected explosive technique. The metal floor literally boomed from the sheer force. No flashy moves here, just pure, optimized power rushing right up through my entire body. I turned into a complete gray blur. My blade carved an almost vertical streak of freezing light. Lung Yu's casual look totally vanished. Her eyes instantly narrowed. That speed and form, even holding back my real breathing style, and using only 35% power, this elite 6-star warrior was genuinely impressed. Honestly, not too bad for a guy who just processes giant bears for a living. My blade aimed right for a tiny weak spot near her collarbone. A tiny gap created by years of her practicing one specific combat style. Most fighters wouldn't ever notice that spot. But after taking apart thousands of monsters, spotting hidden weaknesses is basically my ultimate superpower. I don't even think. Pure instinct. But what really shocked me was that Lung Yu actually noticed the thunder breathing echoing inside me. I hid the tiger leopard part, but those deep internal vibrations were still echoing through the room like thunder. Now watch this part closely. Things get wild. She dashed forward instead of back. With a flash of icy light, she caught my blade like grabbing a tiny fly. Boom! The raw force shooting right back through my handle felt like taking a massive freight train. My hands went totally numb as I flew back 6 meters before sticking the landing. 6-star warriors? Terrifying. The whole room went totally silent. Lung Yu checked a tiny white scratch on her guard, locked eyes with me, and her entire vibe completely shifted. 25% gene development? Her voice dropped, sounding incredibly intense. Do I look like a toddler to you? Busted, basically. That explosive power is at least 30%. And that blade style. She stepped closer, making the air feel incredibly heavy. It looks basic, but every single ounce of energy targets those hidden structural weak spots perfectly. This isn't just a famous martial art. This is a finishing style forged through real experience. It's approaching. Dao. She stopped right in front of me, eyes glowing brightly. How many monsters have you actually processed? I spend 10 hours daily at the processing center. I guess my hands just got a bit practiced. Just a little practiced? She scoffed, though I totally heard the secret admiration. You blended anatomy into a combat art, and invented a custom style. Nanjiang hasn't seen anyone like this in decades. Then she looked serious. Your thunder breathing has honestly reached an insanely high level. It's actually evolved in ways I can't totally grasp. Wasting your talent on generic 2-star or 3-star combat styles would be awful. My ears definitely perked up. Please advise, Commander. You and I would love this part. She swiped a screen and holographic weapons just magically appeared. All warrior combat styles basically fall into 3 main categories. First up, heavy weapons. Greatswords, massive hammers, pure smashing power. Second category means light weapons. Dual blades, short swords, and your trusty knife. Pure speed, sharp precision, hitting weak points for one-hit strikes. That's your current path. Third is shield combos with swords. Perfectly balanced offense and defense. The military's absolute favorite for pure survival. She paused. There are also pure defense builds using tower shields and bows. But those actually need 90% gene development and psychic powers. Ignore that for now. Then she looked right at me. Personally, I really recommend the spear. A spear? My brain instantly replayed Luo Foam poking an armored bear for 20 minutes like he was doing weird acupuncture. My face totally gave it away because she just laughed. Let me guess, you've seen idiots twirling spears like cheerleaders. A true spear technique is the undisputed king of weapons with unmatched striking range. But if you insist on blades, I have 2 premium options. She quickly pulled up 2 profiles. Option 1 is dual blades, the ultimate speed. The best technique is the 9-layer thunder drill. holding the record for fastest S-rank beast takedown. War God Lin Song rocks this style. Maximum attack frequency pairs perfectly with your thunder breathing. Option 2 means shield and blade. Incredible defense balance. Top style is Mountain River Shield Sword Art. 2 of humanity's top 10 elite fighters use variations of this. Then she dropped the biggest bomb. These skills cost absolute fortunes. But as a surveillance officer, I have special genius development access. I can officially provide temporary licenses for all these. Full video tutorials, practice notes, everything. She stepped closer, and I won't just hand you the study materials. I will personally train you. Hands-on instruction. I'll escort you into B rank zones and beyond as your official supervisor. My brain exploded. A peak 6-star warrior offering me private tutoring and field escorts. So what do you and I think? Rich heirs would beg for this chance. Obviously, I totally understood the deal. Alright, stick with me here. Long Yu was not doing this out of kindness. She spotted an absolute future. War God. And discovering that kind of legendary talent meant massive political power and endless honors for her. This was a huge long-term investment for us. Smart woman, big deal. Thank you, Teacher Lung Yu. I upgraded her rank right on the spot. Commander became teacher in one perfectly smooth move. She heard it, her eyebrow twitched. And for the second time today, the Ice Queen actually smiled. I walked in as just a recruit, but I was leaving as her star protege. Honestly, not too bad for someone who started today carving bears. Lung Yu's fingers danced across her communicator, and my phone instantly exploded with notifications. 5 activation codes. 5 elite combat techniques. Dual blade. 9-layer thunder kill. Shield blade. Mountain river shield. Sword art, and 3 top-tier spear techniques. She was definitely not letting that spear thing go. Shen Yi, I know you prefer short weapons, but listen up. 1/3 of the world's top 100 warriors use spears. The world's #1 Azure Dragon, Jing Song, clears entire forbidden zones with just 1 spear. Number 5, Warbreaker. Soru, same exact deal. Reach absolutely matters when fighting building-size monsters. Then she showed me 3 spear styles on screen. Azure Dragon Spear, Brulord Spear, Cloud Piercing Thrust. I nodded respectfully, though my brain kept replaying Luo Fan poking that bear with his toothpick. Spear. Seriously, spear. PTSD is real. Then Lung Yu stopped talking and finally started demonstrating. She quickly stripped off her outer robe. Underneath was a sleek, black training suit. Now watch this carefully. For the next hour, I witnessed a masterclass in destruction. Dual blades slicing the air into ribbons. Shield and sword combos that felt like a literal mountain crashing down on you. And when she finally grabbed that spear, holy hell, she became a roaring, actual ice dragon. The spear tip screamed through the air so fast, those thick alloy walls started vibrating. This was absolutely nothing like Luo Fang said little performance. This was the weapon of kings. Okay, fine. Teacher, spears are honestly cool. I finally get it. Videos are synced to your wristband, she said, slightly out of breath. Sweat on her forehead made her look even more intimidatingly gorgeous. Study the technique. Focus purely on power transfer and energy flow. Ask me anything. Then she walked to the corner, grabbed a silver spear, and immediately started training her own skills. Even while teaching, this woman refused to waste a single minute. Total workaholic energy. Time to experiment. I grabbed the dual blades first. Way heavier than my dissection knife, but the balance felt completely perfect. I watched the tutorial video twice, replayed Lung Yu's demo in my head, and started swinging. 1 hour later, ding. Detected. Top-tier combat technique unlocked. 9-layer thunder kill. First layer status. Not yet learned. With 20 development points burning a massive hole in my pocket. System upgrade. 1 point consumed. 9-layer thunder kill. First layer instantly upgraded to mastered. Whoosh. Grip angles, footwork patterns, blade trajectories, and breathing synchronization. Everything flooded straight into my muscle memory, like someone just downloaded a martial arts movie directly into my nervous system. I opened my eyes and finally moved. The dual blades instantly became 2 streaks of lightning. My body flickered left and right so insanely fast, the air literally cracked with sonic booms. These blades weren't just weapons anymore. They became twin thunder serpents, hunting for every single structural weak point in existence. This is significantly more brutal than my basic butcher technique, I thought, grinning. And the speed? It's like a machine gun made of swords. I stopped to catch my breath, and realized Lung Yu had completely frozen solid. You and I both know that look. She stood there, spear in hand, jaw dropped, staring like I grew a second head. Shen Yi, her voice was actually trembling. Have you practiced 9-layer thunderkill before? I scratched my nose, poker face fully activated. Nope, I just watched your demo video twice. It felt super similar to my dissection technique, so I gave it a shot. Was I too slow, teacher? Too slow? The look on her face was priceless. She desperately wanted to smack me. I could literally see the spear twitching in her hand. Because what I had just casually demonstrated was not beginner. It wasn't even intermediate. It was absolute, full mastery. The exact kind that takes years. She picked up this exact technique after hitting 50% development. Already a veteran powerhouse. And it took her a full week just learning basics. Meanwhile, watched a video twice, and was basically doing backflips with it. Are you absolutely sure you've never practiced this before? She was practically begging me to confess. Honestly, never. Maybe it's because I'm used to carving up pigs. The hand feel transfers, you know? I could vividly see her internal struggle. Half of her wanted to celebrate discovering a true once-in-a-century genius. The other half wanted to beat me with her spear for being so annoyingly casual about it. Don't get cocky, she finally managed, forcing her teacher voice back on. A weak foundation is dangerous. Go try the other techniques. But her eyes told a completely different story. Trust me, behind that ice, Lung Yu just realized something that definitely kept her up all night. Stick with me here, because you and I are about to watch him shatter Lung Yu's entire worldview. She hadn't just discovered a talented rookie. Oh no, she'd found an absolute monster. I dropped the dual blades, quickly grabbing a sturdy shield and single-handed sword. Time to test this mountain river combo. Ding. Detected. Mountain river shield sword art. First layer status shows as not yet learned. System upgrade. 1 point spent. Instantly, my brain flooded with shield angles, block timing, and counterattack patterns. I planted my feet, raised the shield, and suddenly wasn't a fast assassin anymore. I literally became a fortress. Clang, clang. My shield constantly appeared exactly where the imaginary enemy would strike, followed instantly by a devastating counter. Defense and pure offense. Perfectly balanced. Exactly as things should be. Lung Yu was drinking water when she saw this. Her hand violently jerked, nearly dropping the cup entirely in pure shock. I saw her thinking, how does a simple pig butcher move like a grandmaster? Before she could even process that absolute madness, I grabbed a spear. Azure Dragon Spear. Fluid and serpentine like a dark rushing river. Ding. Mastered. Overlord Spear. Raw power. Each thrust shook the room with concussive force. Ding. Mastered. Cloud-piercing thrust. Single-point destruction. The spear tip literally broke the sound barrier. You and I could practically feel that shriek. Ding. Mastered. My method was simple. Grab any weapon. Fumble for 30 minutes until the system officially registered it. Not yet learned. Spend 1 development point. Instant mastery. Move to the next weapon. Repeat. 5 elite combat techniques. 5 development points across for hours. All perfectly mastered. Honestly, the training room looked just like a major disaster zone. That tough alloy floor was completely covered in deep scratches. Wiping my sweat, I gave Lung Yu my absolute best innocent face. Teacher, they all feel surprisingly natural. I really can't pick a favorite. How did I do? She stared at me like I just casually bench pressed the actual moon. How did you do? She took a very deep, highly controlled breath. You dare ask how you did? She had prepared coaching notes, common mistakes, difficulty spikes, and training tips for every single technique. All completely useless now, simply because I blasted through every single technique like they were extremely easy tutorial levels in a video game. Absolute monster, she muttered internally. I could practically see those exact words forming behind her eyes. She cleared her throat, desperately assembling whatever was left of her shattered dignity. Your form is perfectly acceptable, but flashy training moves mean absolutely nothing without gaining real combat experience. She quickly turned away from me. I'm 90% sure she couldn't look at my face without her martial arts pride totally crumbling. Tomorrow noon, meet at the association entrance. I am personally taking you straight into B rank territory to hunt down 3-star beasts. Maybe even peak 3-star. Only real, incredibly intense fights will finally show which weapon truly belongs in your hands. Yes, teacher, thank you very much. The exact second I walked out, I heard her heavily slump against the wall. Through the closing door, I finally caught her quiet whisper. What kind of freak is this kid? Watched 2 videos and mastered everything. Let that sink in for us. I've trained 20 years, and his casual demo looked infinitely better than mine. Walking home, the night breeze felt amazingly cool. I mentally reviewed all 5 fighting styles. The explosive dual blades, the fortress shield sword, and those incredibly versatile spears. A normal warrior juggling 5 completely different combat systems would literally have their energy channels explode from all the massive contradictions. But my perfected radio calisthenics gave me absolutely inhuman coordination. Plus, my tiger leopard thunder breathing reinforced every single bone and organ to totally ridiculous levels. Switching between 5 styles simply felt like changing TV channels. Click, click, click. Zero interference. No conflict. Being overpowered is honestly surprisingly convenient. I opened the door to the smell of food. Chingo sat at the dinner table in a yellow silk nightgown, eating beast meat porridge after her intense training session. She looked up as I walked in. First, a flash of pure happiness. Then she instantly switched straight into detective mode. She stood up, walked over, and sniffed me like a police dog. You showered. My heart rate spiked. Women's intuition is absolutely the real superpower in this world. No, I was drenched in sweat, so I used Teacher Lung Yu's dry cleaning spray. I couldn't exactly drip everywhere inside a 6-star warrior's private room, right? Smooth. Very natural. I pulled her close, kissing her cheek before she could interrogate me further. Why are you still up waiting for me? Her stern face instantly crumbled. Who is waiting for you? I was hungry from training. She pushed me toward the table, where another bowl of porridge waited. I made extra. Eat up. Ding. Partner Sue. Chinga completed training. Gene 0.1. Total 35. This incredible woman trained all evening while pregnant. I seriously don't deserve her. She caught me staring. What are you looking at? Tell me, how was your pretty teacher? I leaned in. Bae, you and I are about to discuss something completely unbelievable. Stick with me. You and I are watching a true genius. She taught me 5 elite techniques overnight. Chinga gently touched my forehead. 0 fever. So why exactly am I talking completely crazy? Everyone knows learning multiple techniques at once is impossible. A 6-star commander avoids basic mistakes. I am entirely serious. Tomorrow, she takes me straight into B rank to test which weapon fits me best. She squinted at me. Really? Nobody ever believes me around here. The next day at noon, fully armed, ready to roll. At the door, Chinga fixed my collar using freezing fingers. Just be careful, she whispered. Have a warm bath and wait for me. I kissed her blushing cheek and happily hopped into the elevator. Married life is absolutely amazing. At the association, Lung Yu leaned against a seriously fierce vehicle. A completely matte black hover SUV that looked like it chomped down regular cars daily. Her blue hair was in a high ponytail, rocking a dark purple combat suit that practically yelled, I definitely cost way more than your entire apartment. Luo Foam and Linnea were there too, but the overall vibe felt completely different. Spear Boy kept fidgeting nervously, and Sword Girl refused to even make eye contact with Lung. They clearly heard rumors about my little 5 technique showcase yesterday. My only real competition right now is myself. Today. Please do not make me stand near him. Get inside, Lu commanded. She drove wildly. The SUV, named Thunder, obviously, ripped straight through the wasteland toward Darkwood Forest. It is the absolute most famous danger zone in all B-rank territory. Checking the rearview mirror, she assigned our roles. Lu, Foam Lin, take perimeter duty and clear out to Star Strays. Do not enter the deeper forest without my direct permission. Spot over 2 3-star beasts. Signal us and retreat immediately. Never expect me to save you. Yes, ma'am. She glanced at me, riding shotgun, totally relaxing, like we were on a fun little road trip. As for you, Sheenie, Today, you go straight into the wild territory of the Ironhide Bear King and the fierce Scarlet Wolf King. We are discovering which weapon is your soulmate. Pay attention, you and I are entering Darkwood Forest. Twisted white trees block the sun, leaving thick purple mist everywhere. It literally looked like a place where hope completely vanishes. Luo Fong and Lin quickly jumped out, disappearing into the fog. I could practically smell their huge relief. Getting the easy zone. Lung Yu smoothly handed over a heavy metal case. Inside sat series, 30 standard weapons, dual blades, a shield and sword combo, plus a spear. My entire arsenal was fully ready. We drove much deeper, finally stopping at a dried riverbed. The air smelled super rotten. Predator marks. Ding. Partner Suchinga trains well. Gene progress 0.05. My sweet pregnant wife was home grinding experience for me. I had not even started fighting yet and was leveling up. God bless that wonderful woman. Lungu pointed at a massive dark cave. That is the Ironhide Bear King Den. It just woke up from hibernation, at its hungriest and most violent. She smiled, implying this might finish me off, and she was super excited to watch. Pick your weapon and go. Drag it outside. I opened the case. 5 weapons gleaming in the dim light. The dual blades, whispered speed. The folding spear, whispered reach. But for my first actual boss fight, I snagged the shield and single-handed sword. First real combat test. Let's play it safe. You and I both know this is insane. The shield clicked onto my arm, sword equipped, and I dashed into that pitch-black cave like a wildcat. Lung Yu watched me disappear and chuckled out loud. Shield and sword, huh? Looks totally wild outside, but steady as a rock inside. Smart kid. 3 minutes late, a massive roar. The ground started shaking hard. Boom, boom, boom. Giant footsteps hitting like artillery strikes. Out of the cave exploded the Ironhide Bear King, 5 meters tall, covered in thick red armor plates, built like an absolute nightmare. Tank. Its glaring eyes showed pure crazy hunger, and every step crushed the riverbed stones like tiny crackers. This definitely was not the regular Ironhide bears I was casually clearing at work. This was the actual king. 3-star class. The monster that regular bears tell terrifying stories about. And there I was, jogging backward with my shield raised, looking completely chilled out, like I was just walking a very large and insanely angry dog. Wham! Its massive paw, strong enough to crush armored vehicles, slammed my shield with enough brutal force to snap every tree in a 30-foot radius. The massive shockwave blasted outward like a bomb. I grunted. My arms bulged to the absolute limit, but I rolled with the impact, redirecting that force backward, perfectly absorbing it. Shield technique working perfectly. My turn. My eyes lit up fast. I spun right using the momentum, and my sword carved a silver crescent straight toward the Bear King armpit. The universal weak spot of every single Ironhide bear I ever studied. Sparks flew, hitting steel, then the satisfying sound of blade finding flesh. Trust me, you and I just witnessed an epic first strike using a shield build. Alright, stick with me. We are diving into the ultimate showdown. This was way more fun than the old workshop. The Bear King clash was a gorgeous test run for my shield build. That massive beast rushed me with absolutely everything. Paws falling like meteors, hitting hard enough to crush a whole truck. But with mountain, river shield, sword art fueling my muscles, I was an immovable, insanely handsome boulder. My secret, fully perfected morning routine. Every single ounce of force that monster tossed at me, I redirected through my entire body straight down into the dirt. The riverbed fractured completely. My shield never budged 1 millimeter. Lung watched from a distance, arms crossed, totally ready to rescue me. Instead, she watched me make a 5-meter armored beast look foolish. The huge Bear King completely lost its furious mind. Unable to break my solid guard, it went absolutely berserk. The legendary Bear King tackle. Tons of raging muscle rushing at me like a massive freight train. Exactly my plan. I triggered thunder breathing, stepping directly into its charge, tilted my shield perfectly, and let that massive impact spin right off me sideways. Exactly like water flying off a windmill. At that exact moment, my sword lashed out, carving one gorgeous arc across the Bear King's huge stomach, hitting right along the weakest fold in its thick armor. Splash! Energy bursting. Absolute chaos everywhere. The Bear King roared, stumbled forward, crashed through 3 large trees, and heavily collapsed. Lung strolled over, glaring like I had personally offended her by being way too skilled. That counter timing was flawless. Even I cannot nitpick it. The shield blade style completely suits you. She casually tranquilized the fading Bear King's neck. So, how did it feel? I calmly flicked the dust right off my sword. Honest answer, safe, but super slow. I felt restricted, like battling in heavy cuffs. Years of fast prep at the workshop wired my brain for maximum output. The shield worked well, but it felt like driving a sports car stuck in first gear. Lou smirked. Figured as much. Let's fix that. She pointed toward a rocky slope deeper in the dark forest. Now pay attention here. From the dark shadows emerged hundreds of faint glowing green eyes. A terrifying chorus of low, skin-crawling growls followed. Shadow Wolf territory. The Wolf King is mid 3-star. Fast, incredibly smart, and they always hunt in packs. She raised an eyebrow like a dare. Grab those dual blades. Show me if your 9-layer thunder strike outruns a whole wolf army. I didn't need telling twice. Yanking the twin blades from the case, I checked the razor-sharp edges and launched myself directly into the deep darkness. The exact second I crossed into their territory, the entire world lit up with glowing green dots everywhere, behind rocks, on ledges, hiding in the tall grass like evil Christmas lights. One howl. Suddenly, 15 gray blurs streaked toward me. Adult shadow wolves, 2 meters long, insanely fast, built entirely for swift group takedowns. Planting my feet, I quickly shifted my breathing. Tiger leopard thunder breathing shifted from mountain mode directly into lightning mode. The first wolf lunged for my neck. I flickered. 9-layer thunder strike. First layer, flash, step. My blades crossed perfectly. That wolf's head popped right off before it even realized the fight was completely done. Shadows painted the gray rocks. Second wolf. Third wolf. I never stopped or ever paused. You feel that energy, right? I became a black lightning bolt tearing through the pack. Pure predator mode. Every single slash followed a spine perfectly. Sharp instincts carved from processing thousands of tough targets. Now supercharged with thunder strikes and explosive speed. My boots barely touched the ground. I bounced off rocky tips, twisting perfectly between snapping jaws. Every single time my blades moved, another wolf dropped. The sound of ringing steel became a continuous buzz, basically a blender made of swords. Lung Yu's pupils shrank. He does not even need to aim. Every cut follows the spine perfectly, almost like he has X-ray vision. I felt her struggling to find my true limit. Spoiler alert, she couldn't. At the top of the slope, the massive Wolf King finally lost its patience. Twice the size of its pack, silver-gray fur bristling, it shattered a boulder with its powerful hind legs, launching directly at my exposed back like a silver missile. Worst possible timing. I had just cleared 3 wolves and was caught between strikes. Old force completely spent. New energy not yet gathered. Pure danger. I heard Lou's boots hit the dirt behind me, but I didn't need any saving. Boom. Thunder breathing exploded inside me. My body did something that should have been totally, physically impossible. A forced mid-air rotation. Torso twisting entirely on pure core strength. Both blades merged into one massive strike, meeting the Wolf King's claws head-on. Clang! The impact sent me sliding backward, my boots digging deep trenches in the dirt. The Wolf King tumbled several times, landing with one paw totally battered. We stared at each other. It was absolutely furious. I was thrilled. Come on. I charged straight back in, grinning like a total maniac. Because this was it. The dual blades, the wild speed, the razor-thin margin between total victory and absolute defeat. You and I just witnessed pure perfection. My ultimate blade art reaching final form. Stick with me. You and I are about to witness something wild. My shield offered safety, but blades brought life. Ready for round 2 with the Wolf King. Lung Yu shouted through the chaos. Stop. Switch to the spear. A silver streak whistled right past. She launched that spear from 50 meters away. It forcefully slammed into the rocks right before me, completely vibrating with pure energy. Total show off. Grabbing the shaft, I watched the Wolf King see an opening and lunge forward. Absolutely terrible mistake on his part. Spear equipped. My vibe changed. If dual blades were lightning, this was a heavy thunderstorm delivering massive rough force. First strike. Azure Dragon Spear, twisting my hips right into the heavy thrust. The weapon woke up, wildly spiraling and perfectly blocking every single escape route the beast possessed. The sharp tip grazed its right shoulder, leaving a bright red mark. I was not ending this yet. I wanted to test the weapon. And wow, 1 inch longer, meaning 1 inch stronger, is totally true. This reach felt incredible. Second strike, Overlord Spear. The huge beast bounced back, claws slicing the wind. I swung the long shaft sideways, pushing Tiger Leopard Thunder, breathing directly into the solid metal. Boom! The heavy collision echoed loudly, exactly like a massive, building-sized church bell. The monster's brutal force bounced right back into its huge frame. I loudly heard its heavy bones creaking from here. Flipping the spear, I smashed the heavy end into its stomach, sending it forcefully flying. Third strike, Cloud-Piercing Thrust. Now, pay close attention. The tumbling beast was an absolute perfect target. Planting my feet firmly, I pushed all my massive energy down, focusing absolutely everything into the sharp spear tip. One massive thrust, a lightning bolt of pure destruction. The epic strike blasted completely straight through the monster, forcefully pinning its massive, heavy body to a giant boulder like a trapped butterfly, legs helplessly dangling, totally defeated against the cold stone. Absolute silence. The remaining pack saw their leader mounted on the rock like a shiny trophy. They whimpered loudly and quickly vanished into the heavy fog. Extremely smart dogs. Lung Yu walked over. Her expression bypassed shock, hitting full system crash. Total system error, flashing behind those beautiful eyes. You literally just chained 3 completely different spear styles together flawlessly during your very first real combat. Azure Dragon's amazing flexibility, Overlord's raw power, Cloud-Piercing's insane precision. 3 philosophies and 3 techniques woven together like they were always meant to be one move. Yanking the long spear from the beast, I cleanly flicked off some heavy debris and widely grinned at her. Feels pretty absolutely awesome, teacher. Spears easily beat small knives. She dramatically grabbed her head, looking exactly like a totally massive migraine just arrived. I'm sure she wondered if I was actually some reincarnated weapon grandmaster secretly pretending to be an orphan. So, teacher, where to next? I could perfectly crush 100 more bears. She heavily snapped. 100 bears? You just want free meat. Fair enough. Exactly right. We are heading back. I must totally redesign your training schedule. Your crazy progress shattered all my original expectations. During the long drive home, the car stayed super quiet. Lung Yu kept her eyes strictly forward, but her brilliant brain was absolutely melting right now. She endlessly looped my 3-spear combo inside her mind. You and I both saw that instant replay in her eyes. Apparently, she compared me to the legendary Kong Longshin, an epic master wielding any weapon at 4-star level, one of humanity's top 12 ultimate fighters. She deeply thought I was on that same exact trajectory. In the back seat, Luo Fong and Linnea absolutely caught Lung Yu secretly smiling brightly in the mirror. The literal Ice Queen was actually smiling. They sank deeply into their seats, like their terrified spirits had completely vanished. Back inside the association, Lung Yu dismissed them and brought me into her highly private training room. Door securely locked. Extremely serious expression on. So, after today's crazy field battles, is the spear your ultimate destiny? Weapon? I firmly nodded. Honestly, that amazing reach and power are completely unmatched. It felt totally incredible. Her eyes shined with absolute teacher pride. Your triple combo today was completely, historically unprecedented. If you purely specialize in spear arts, with my expert guidance, I can definitely push you to peak 3-star within 6 short months. Maybe even touch 4-star. She practically vibrated with wild excitement. But inside my head, I felt completely different. See, Lung Yu wanted a single choice. Pick one weapon and fully commit. But honestly, I am incredibly greedy. Dual blades literally felt exactly like wildly flying. Shield and sword felt completely invincible. The massive spear felt like becoming an absolute god of war. Kids choose one single option. Adults literally take absolutely everything. Back inside, Lung Yu proudly watched me with huge teacher eyes, totally expecting me to grab that spear and officially pledge my eternal loyalty to the pointy stick path. I walked to the weapon rack, reached out my right hand, and firmly grabbed the spear. Lung Yu's face lit up like fireworks. Her frozen ice queen mask finally cracked open. A real smile showed. And that's where we leave it. She believed we were forever bound, master and student, walking the sacred path of Pokeology together. Watch this. I just grabbed the shield and sword. Her smile froze instantly. I swear it cracked. Chenny, what are you doing? She stomped right over, in full lecture mode, completely activated. Martial arts demands total purity of purpose. You absolutely cannot split your focus between multiple weapons. This is the absolute biggest mistake that talented fighters make. When you hit 3-star, 4-star, or reach for Grandmaster level, your scattered focus will create massive conflicts in your martial intent, and you will fail. She was genuinely upset, not angry, just totally worried. That pure frustration a master feels when her star student announces he is dropping everything to become a professional juggler. And honestly, she was totally right for normal people, but I am not normal. I have an absolute cheat code called development points, plus a wife-powered experience generator back home. Other warriors spend years meditating on weapon intent. I just spend 1 point and download the entire thing directly into my muscles. What they call spreading yourself too thin, I literally call Tuesday. Obviously, I could not tell her any of that. So, I used a super calm and mature approach. Teacher, I totally get your concerns, but these weapons just do not conflict in my hands. I want to experiment while at a low level, to see if I can successfully forge my very own path. Now pay attention. She searched my eyes for arrogance or stupidity, but you and I know she only found cold, steady certainty. Finally, she sighed heavily, like a tired parent losing an argument to a toddler. Fine, just do whatever you want. Translation: I think you are making a massive mistake, but you are way too talented to yell at. Door opened. Wife on the couch watching warrior pregnancy diet videos. So adorable. You are back. Any injuries? She rushed over to inspect me. I immediately scooped her up and pulled her onto the couch. My hand naturally found her waist, which developed some amazing new curves after a month of premium beast meat. Your genius husband simply does not get injured. Only the beasts fall when I arrive. I told her everything about the day. The Bear King, the Wolf King, the 3 spear styles, all of it. When I mentioned wanting to train both the spear and shield sword together, she gave me that exact same worried look my teacher just did. Honey, I know I'm not as advanced, but even I know you really cannot chew more than you can bite. Can you really handle 2 weapon paths at once? 2 women, exact same concern. Both totally valid concerns for anyone not married to a walking cheat engine. Babe, do you know who I am? A once-in-a-generation genius right here. Remember? I thumped my chest confidently. Spear for long range. Shield and sword for close combat. 1 long, 1 short. Double insurance. But here is the thing. We both know I could master 10 weapon styles and still have upgrade points left. I reached down and gently touched her belly. After a month of gourmet beast food and premium supplements, there was an actual cute little bump. Our babies. 2 lives growing right inside her. For now, just focus on thunder breathing. Take care of yourself. Get your body and mind into absolute peak condition. My voice went soft. Once the babies arrive and you have fully recovered, I will personally give you very hands-on, very close-up private instruction in top-tier combat techniques. I leaned hard on hands-on and close-up, extremely hard. Her face went nuclear red. You are completely shameless. The babies can hear you. She punched my shoulder, but did not move. She just curled deeper into my arms, her hand resting on mine over her belly, and for one quiet moment, all the playful jokes stopped. She had been through an absolute nightmare, betrayed by her family, tossed out like garbage. Now, she was a true warrior married to someone who would burn the world for her, carrying brand new life. I will do whatever you ask, she murmured, voice full of that soft new mother warmth. I just held her tighter and thought, this right here, this warmth, this absolute trust, this little family, is worth more than every weapon technique globally. But honestly, I am definitely learning all of them because true adults never choose. Adults take everything. Next morning, I iced my sleeping wife's forehead and just slipped out. She was buried deep in her silk blanket. She truly looked like a beautiful, adorable pregnant burrito. Pregnancy plus warrior training absolutely equals world champion napping. Time to make it official. 3-star warrior. At the elevator, the doors opened and out walked Jiang Nan, my neighbor. The exact one I totally ghosted after she warned me about that assassination. She wore tight gray workout clothes, ponytail swinging, fresh off a morning jog, glistening with sweat in a way that was definitely 100% intentional. Kai, where are you headed early? Warrior Association. Getting my 3-star certification. The shock sound she made was like someone just stepped on a cat. 3-star? Did you not just certify for 2-star barely a month ago? She was stuck at 2-star for 2 years, at 19%, grinding daily. I strolled past her like she was totally frozen. You and I both love this epic flex. Stick with me here. I watched her brain do the math, glancing back toward her apartment, where her useless boyfriend was still sleeping and drooling. Her disappointment hit like a physical punch. You really do not let anyone else live, do you? She muttered. I waved goodbye, the elevator closing on her existential crisis. At the association, Diana was working her desk, looking absolutely gorgeous as usual. Purple pencil skirt, black stockings, the complete package. She was riding high after my 2-star certification boosted her performance stats. Mr. Chun, welcome back. I dropped my new test sheet on her desk before she could even finish. Just need to update my rank. Also wondering if 3-star warriors get discounts on Series 30. Custom gear. She casually picked up the sheet, then her brain processed everything. Name Shuni. Punch force, 3,510 kilos. Gene development, 35%. 3-star, mid-level. Her pen hit the floor. Her eyes went so wide, I saw pure white around them. She slammed both hands on the desk and leaned forward. Breathing heavily, she stared at that number like it owed her serious money. 3-star. Her voice cracked so hard it could have shattered window glass. Mr. Chun, you certified 2-star half a month ago. This cannot be right. She rubbed her eyes. Looked again. Still 35%. Now pay attention here, she whispered. Exactly what I knew she was thinking. Are you using forbidden enhancement drugs? I sprawled on the leather couch like I owned the entire place. Relax, I am just a genius. Plus, you gave me some private coaching last night. Had a breakthrough. She stared. Private coaching does not make you jump 10% overnight. Nothing does. Not legally anyway. But what could she really say? The test results were right there. Certified by the machine. No faking that. Absolute beast. She breathed out, fingers trembling as she typed. Then her survival instincts kicked in hard. She instantly poured me premium spirit tea. Please wait just a moment, Mr. Chun. Your advancement is so extreme. It is flagged as exceptional talent. Needs vice president approval. 3 minutes later. Tap, tap, tap. Expensive heels echoing down the long corridor. The heavy door swung open, and in walked a woman wearing a dark blue kai pao. It was doing things for her figure that should honestly be classified as illegal weapons. Early 30s, ivory skin, showing that composed elegance which only comes from years of being the absolute most powerful person in every single room. The slit in her dress revealed exactly enough leg to be utterly devastating without being obvious. This was Shin Rushwin, the vice president of the Nanjang Warrior Association. You and I both know this is wild, right? The big boss herself came down to personally verify the freak who jumped to 3-star in 2 weeks. I sipped my fancy tea, thinking, at this rate, I will run out of women to completely shock. Vice President Shin Rushwin looked at me like I was some kind of rare artifact. She wanted to examine personally. Early 30s, kai pao fitting, like it was just painted on. Smelling like expensive orchids, smiling like she owned the building. Which, technically, she kind of did. So, you genius. Heroes really do come so young. Your vitality is so intense it puts us seniors to shame. Lady, you certainly do not look like a senior in that dress. But I kept it purely professional. You are too kind, Vice President Shin. Protocol requires a supervised retest for 3-star certification, she said, smoothly gesturing for me to follow. I have cleared out the internal testing room. No waiting. Quick and painless. I walked behind her toward the private testing room. And look, I am a married man, a devoted husband, a truly faithful partner. But that kai pao was definitely doing things. The way it moved when she walked was basically an absolute engineering marvel. Some kind of physics-defying hip-to-fabric ratio that should really be studied by top scientists. I blinked hard and quickly refocused. Beautiful pregnant wife. Deep breath. Stay right on target. Behind us, Lee. Diana watched me leave with the vice president, and I practically heard her frantic brain calculating. I must hold on to this crazy man's coattails at all costs. The internal testing room was a completely different level. Military-grade equipment, dark gold alloy construction, perfectly designed to handle 7 Star Warriors going full power. Shin Rushwan leaned heavily against a pillar, arms perfectly crossed, doing things to her dress that I absolutely will not describe because my wife might somehow sense it. She smiled, amused. Go right ahead, Mr. Chun. Do not hold back. I closed my eyes. Tiger leopard thunder breathing, perfectly synced with my radio calisthenics. One complete circulation of pure energy throughout my entire body. I felt the vibration deep in my bones, like a sleeping beast waking up inside my marrow. Shin Rushwan's playful expression vanished in an instant. That breathing frequency, that is internal thunder resonance. But something is completely different about it. Before she could analyze further, boom, I channeled everything through my spine into my right fist, slamming the target. The massive testing rig violently shook. Pressure valves hissed white steam. Crazy, right? We just witnessed the numbers hit. 3,620 kilos. 100 more than my lobby test. Stick with me. His epic power upgrade left Shinwang completely speechless for a long moment. She had tested absolute prodigies before, but watching a guy skyrocket straight from 1 to 3 stars in real time, that was a mind-blowing first, even for her. 3,620 confirmed mid-level. She walked closer, fingers trailing over the printed stats like a love note. Then she looked up, her gaze flashing a warmth way beyond basic professional courtesy. Major congratulations, Mr. Chun. You just shattered the city speed record for this decade. You are officially a 3-star Federation warrior right now. Then dropped the ultimate recruitment pitch. So perfectly smooth. Lung Yu got incredibly lucky finding you. But if you ever feel bored with your current team, or just want better scenery, my office door is always wide open. She basically just tried poaching me right outside his own building. Absolutely bold move. Now, for the insane perks, she continued. 3-star base stipend, 50,000 credits every month. Plus, since you are a verified genius, you score 50% off all Series 30 and 40 premium gear. Half off everything. My 20 million just doubled in pure purchasing power. I honestly almost kissed that testing machine. Cannot wait to see your first star certification, Mr. Chun, she smiled. I highly doubt I will be waiting very long. As I finally walked outside, I caught her leaning against the doorframe, totally envious of Lung Yu's massive luck. Meanwhile, down in the main building lobby, Lee Diana was frantically pacing back and forth like a nervous puppy. The exact second she spotted that shiny 3-star badge, her face lit up with such intense joy I honestly thought she would pass out. Mr. Chun, you actually did it. Her eyes were sparkling again, looking at me like I was a massive winning lottery ticket that magically sprouted legs and casually strolled right into her personal office. Now watch this. 50,000 monthly, half price gear, and a vice president poaching him before noon. You are going to love this massive flex. Not bad for a former butcher. First official order of business as a 3-star warrior? A massive real estate upgrade. So about my apartment, I asked Diana, can I get a better one? Her eyes completely lit up like I just proposed marriage to her. Absolutely. You now qualify for the massive top-floor duplex over at Ginhyo Garden. Double the space, 50% more spiritual energy, and a brand new training machine hitting 10 times normal gravity levels. My brain instantly did the math. Better energy means she trains faster, giving me way more system feedback to level up insanely quick. This was not just a luxury upgrade. It was a brilliant tactical investment for my wife's cultivation. Set it up right now. Just call me Zhao Ya, she purred, leaning forward, voice dripping honey eggs crossed. Her body language, absolutely screaming for some extra attention. I am totally available for apartment viewings, and literally anything else. Then she offered to personally help me unpack and clean my rooms. The way she leaned in, her hidden intentions were subtle as a billboard. I looked down. She gazed back with eager, hopeful eyes. Zhao ya? I asked. Yes. Are you a 2-star warrior? Record scratch. Total ice. Her flirty smile just crashed into pure confusion. Cool. Just curious. Thanks for the paperwork. Bye. I bolted out the door before she could even reboot her brain. You and I know his secret, right? His broken system gives him 10 times whatever his designated partner cultivates. Diana is a weak 1-star who spends way more time on makeup than training. That investment return would be absolutely zero. Like buying a luxury sports car running on AAA batteries. But hypothetically, if elite talents like Lung Yu or Vice President Shin got close, that feedback would be completely astronomical. We are talking pure rocket fuel here. Nah, focus. I shook my head. Settle the wife first. Crazy schemes later. Yeah, my wild ambitions were definitely growing alongside my power. Sue me, every guy thinks like this. I am just honest. I grabbed a fast hover cab home, walking inside before she could even speak. Then I casually spun a dark gold access card on my finger like a poker chip. Pack your bags, babe. We are moving. Her eyes darted straight to my chest. New badge. 3 stars. So shiny. You actually passed? She jumped up so quickly her belly protested, forcing her to grab her own waist in shock. I caught her instantly. Careful. The baby just filed a huge complaint. And yes, 3 stars in just 2 weeks. You surprised? But this is totally insane, she whispered, brain still lagging. 32nd floor penthouse duplex, better energy, and 10 times gravity. Movers arrive in 5 minutes. Let's go. 30 minutes later, we were standing right outside unit 3201. The door scanned my 3-star credentials, sliding open like welcoming royalty. Even my wife, a former wealthy heiress, just gasped, wow. 400 square meters, 2 massive floors. Massive windows showed the whole glowing city below. That is where we leave it. Trust me, you're going to want to see what happens next. One breath of this air felt like drinking pure spring water. Upstairs, a massive master bedroom and a top-tier training zone. Stick with me here. Downstairs is a huge gravity room, 3 times bigger, featuring an insane black C5 machine glowing red in the center. 10 times gravity. Chinga touched the machine with absolute awe. In this epic training environment, breaking through to star would only take 3 months. I wrapped my arms around her waist, sensing our baby's tiny, steady pulse. Not just 2-star, I whispered softly. I am going to make you the absolute strongest woman on this entire planet. Standing 32 floors up at that massive window, the whole city below us literally looked like tiny ants. Something sparked inside Shingatu. That gentle energy suddenly exploded with pure, undeniable ambition. She activated thunder, breathing entirely on instinct. Inside this energy-packed penthouse, a massive cultivation barrier she had been stuck on for weeks, completely dissolved, fading away just like morning fog in the bright sunlight. Wow, I felt the system wake up immediately. This insane apartment was seriously already paying for itself. Chinga's aura erupted, thunder roared through her core, completely shattering her limits. A massive breakthrough right by the glass. She spun around, smiling huge, ready to brag. But then, she felt the wild energy spiking inside me. Because her level up instantly triggered my system. Watch closely now, this system feedback wasn't some tiny 0.1%. Boom, 5% in one shot. Gene development hit 40.1%. 4-star tier. My bones literally felt like heavy steel cables. My blood flowed heavy, exactly like liquid metal. The air around my body was violently vibrating. Those thick bulletproof windows were actually cracking under the pressure. Chinga stood there completely stunned, watching her husband accidentally transform into an ancient war god. Honestly, I probably looked absolutely terrifying. 5 minutes later, pulled all that wild energy back inside. Eyes open. 4-star level. The absolute dividing line between rookies and the real legends here. 4-star warriors actually lead the charge. They command massive 100-man squads on the battlefield. And I crossed that massive threshold just because my wife felt inspired looking outside. Seriously, babe, you are my ultimate lucky star. I grabbed her, spinning her around by the window like some epic romantic movie ending. She laughed, telling me to stop before the baby got dizzy. She lightly smacked my shoulder, totally unable to hide her shock. My energy burst was honestly way scarier than the Elitsu family elders. Did you secretly level up again? I just smiled, crediting my hardworking wife, and happily buried my face right into her neck. This amazing woman seriously gave me a huge 5% boost just by feeling inspired near a nice view. I love her so much. And since we have this beautiful new master bedroom, I gave her that classic look. Time to properly inaugurate the place, right? It's daytime, but these curtains are full blackout. Pull them shut, and boom, it is instantly midnight. I scooped her right up and headed for the giant king-size bed that could easily sleep 5. No further details required here. Later that evening, moonlight flooded the room. Chinga was sound asleep on my arm, completely flushed and smiling happily like a very satisfied little kitten. I was wide awake. Shopping time. First up, essential nutrition. I searched for premium gene serums and ordered 50 cases of purple crystal nutrient solution. The absolute top tier stuff. Perfectly safe for pregnant women. Maximum cell activation with 0 side effects. 500,000 credits after my discount. Every drop makes Chinga stronger. You and I know the truth. Here, her strength returns to me tenfold. This isn't shopping, it's unlimited compound interest. Next, weapons. My Series 30 gear was completely outdated. I was a 4-star warrior now. I grabbed a full Series 40 loadout, a Type 40 siege breaker spear, and a dark iron shield sword set. 1.5 million after discount. Next, combat techniques. I needed permanent licenses for 4 elite arts: the Azure Dragon Spear, Overlord Spear, Cloud Piercing Thrust, and the legendary Mountain River Shield Sword. The complete version price? 10 million each. That meant 40 million credits total for all 4 techniques. Even with 50% off, that was 20 million. My entire hard-earned bounty money couldn't actually cover that crazy amount. I sat staring at the screen for a solid minute, experiencing a major poor rich man crisis. But then I realized they actually sold these skills in tiers. Levels 1 through 3 were 2 million each. Levels 4 to 6 were 3 million. And levels 7 through 9 cost 5 million apiece. Okay, levels 1 through 6 means 5 million per technique. 4 techniques equals 20 million, plus gear and 50 supplement cases. Wait, 2,000 million. Wait, I recalculated 6 times. Weapons were 1.5 million. 50 cases of purple crystal, 500,000. 4 techniques, levels 1 to 6, 20 million. Wait, apply the discount. The final answer was actually 2 million credits. With that massive 50% discount applied to everything, I smashed confirm purchase before my brain could stop me. Ding, payment successful. Combat licenses officially registered. The Series 40 gear and nutrient supplies arrive tomorrow morning. And that's where we leave it. 21 million credits drained to absolutely nothing. Stick with me here. 2 weeks ago, was counting pennies for 5,000 credit medicine. Tonight, I just blew 20 million shopping. My only regret, not buying even more. I really need a fresh income source, I muttered quietly, glancing over at my sleeping wife. The cultivation side is totally handled. She manages that just by breathing. But the money situation? I stared blankly at the ceiling. 4-star warrior status. Premium gear arrives tomorrow. Elite combat techniques unlocked through level 6. A wife generating experience points literally by breathing. Now, just need to figure out how to avoid going totally broke again. Being overpowered is surprisingly pricey. The next morning brought beautiful sunshine and penthouse living. Standing on my balcony, breathing premium air. Then the giant delivery drone arrived. 50 cases of purple crystal nutrient solution, a full Series 40 combat armor set, a siege breaker spear, and a shield sword combo. My living room basically became a high-tech pharmacy mixed with a weapons depot. Chinga shuffled out in her silk robe, half asleep, took one look at the massive mountain of boxes, and completely short-circuited. What exactly is all this? I popped open a nutrient case. Rows of glowing purple vials sparkled like pure liquid gemstones. Your new daily drink. 50 cases. No more regular water. You drink these. Do not save them. These cost 1,000 credits each. That is 500,000. Are you insane? I gripped her shoulders with maximum serious husband energy. Money is absolutely useless sitting in a bank. True strength lasts forever. You are growing, our babies. Getting stronger makes them stronger right from birth. What I kept to myself, though. Also, your training literally powers me up 10 times over. So honestly, this is the highest return investment in human history. Instead, I just said, when you get stronger, it motivates me to keep pushing. Cannot let my wife pass me. Smooth save. She got teary-eyed and cuddled right into my chest. I promise I will train hard. Then I opened the weapon cases. The Series 40 armor was gorgeous. Liquid alloy composite, sharp angular lines, and a glowing chest plate that looked straight out of an epic sci-fi movie. The massive spear had a dark purple tip, practically humming with pure destructive energy. 500 pounds of pure, devastating power, ready to completely ruin any bad guy. I was right in the middle of admiring my awesome new gear when suddenly, an earth-shattering, monstrous roar absolutely ripped through the sky out of nowhere. Watch closely. A sound so massive, ancient, and loud that our 32nd floor penthouse vibrated. The wooden floors trembled, the windows flexed, the entire city skyline seemed to flinch. Chinga went totally pale and grabbed my arm. What was that? Before I could answer, my phone buzzed. Red text, bold letters. Emergency conscription order. 3-star warrior Chuni, Nanjang City, is currently under a level 1 combat alert. Report to Warrior Association headquarters within 1 hour. No exceptions. Chinga's phone lit up as well, but hers said something different. Special personnel shelter in place. Order. 1-star warrior Sachinga. Due to your pregnancy status, you are fully exempt from deployment. Remain at home. Await further instructions. My wife grabbed my shirt with trembling hands, but she is far from weak. She took a breath, straightened her spine, and said, "Go. Something massive is happening. I will be fine. We have months of supplies, top floor security, and I will not leave this apartment." I looked at her, truly looked at her, then nodded. No big speeches, zero dramatics. I walked to the weapon cases. Click, click. The Series 40 liquid alloy armor, sealed tightly around my body, just like a second skin. Cold, sharp, absolutely perfect. Spear in one hand, shield locked left, short sword on my hip. I kissed her forehead firmly. Wait for me. Then I was out the door. In the elevator, every floor added more people. Anxious faces, heavy combat gear, nervous whispers. When Jiang Nan stepped inside and saw my 3-star badge, she literally gasped. Chun Wai, morning? The elevator kept filling up. 1 stars, 2 stars, all pale and tense. And without anyone saying a single word, they instinctively shuffled aside to give me space. You and I know why. In a crisis, a 3-star warrior is basically the ultimate security blanket for these people. Meanwhile, I read Lung Yu's message. Neighboring Jinshan City has had its outer defenses breached. A massive beast tide erupted from the mountain forests. Satellite imagery confirms a beast emperor beyond 7 stars is leading the charge. Jinshan City has gone dark. All communication is lost. All Nanjang warriors 3-star and above, mobilize immediately for Jinshan City reinforcement. You are leading a 5-person squad. Luo Foam Lin plus 2 2-star warriors. You are squad captain. Do not act reckless. I stared blankly at the message. Beast Emperor beyond 7 stars. An entire city just gone silent. And they were sending me a secret 1-star warrior with the 3-star badge. Armed with gear I owned for 12 hours. Leading a team featuring a guy who thought poking bears was an art form. I looked at my reflection in the elevator's cold metal wall. Full battle armor, war spear on my back, shield locked on my arm. Well, I muttered to myself. Trust me, yesterday I feared going broke. Today, I might get wiped out. Stick with me here. We are about to watch a 7-star beast emperor lead tens of thousands of monsters to absolutely flatten an entire city. And they called in every warrior, 3 stars and above, to go. Stop it. Cool, cool, cool. Just another typical Tuesday for our guy. Gripping his new spear so hard the metal creaked. Yesterday, he was furniture shopping. Today, he might not even survive. The elevator hit the ground floor, stepping straight into pure chaos. Thousands of warriors packed the assembly hall, and every single face silently said the exact same thing. We might not come home tonight. Gone were the cocky attitudes and lazy stances. Just grim, completely silent soldiers. He walked in wearing his Series 40 liquid alloy armor, and the whispering started up immediately. Is that Series 40 gear? That is for 4-star warriors. It weighs 1,000 pounds. Check his badge. 3-star, mid-level. How old is this kid? He ignored all the chatter, heading straight to his squad rally point. Lu Feng was already waiting right there. The same guy who once called him a brute and declared his only opponent was himself. He looked at his 3-star badge, then at the armor costing more than his apartment, and his hand literally shook. Captain Chun. The words came out like he was swallowing broken glass. Linnea was the same. Eyes down, voice super small. Captain Chun. 2-star Lin reporting. The other 2 squad members were older brothers. One shield and sword. Highly practical men. They took one look at him and saluted instantly. At your command, Captain. He kept it extremely short. I am Chun Yi. We are heading to Jinshan City's outer perimeter. It is already a battlefield. One rule in my squad. Follow orders. Zero heroics. He completely paused. Now pay attention here. He let his thunder-breathing pulse once. Just a vibration, but everyone's heart skipped. Break that rule. I deal with you myself. Then Lung Yu appeared like a blue comet streaking across the hall. Her aura was volcanic, just barely contained absolute power. Everyone on the transports. Jinshan City's first defensive line has completely fallen. Millions of civilians are evacuating. Our mission is holding South Sky Bridge for 3 whole hours while they escape. Someone whimpered. That is a one-way mission. It is our duty. Lung Yu's fierce eyes could have cut steel. Move. The ceiling suddenly opened up. Hundreds of heavy transport ships roared to life, launching right into a sky stained deep with smoke and ash. Inside the heavy transport, he sat down as his watch buzzed. Chun. Honey. She drank a nutrient vial. I feel incredibly strong. The babies and I will keep getting stronger. Please come home safe. He squeezed his spear, staring silently out the window. Jinshan City, once called the Golden City, was burning. Huge skyscrapers collapsed like dominoes. The evacuation highway was a crawling nightmare of endless cars. And on the other side of the city, a massive black wave rolled straight across the horizon. We totally saw this coming, right? Tens of thousands of huge beasts kicked up dust clouds, blotting out the sun. Every forward surge meant another block permanently vanished. 30 seconds to South Sky Bridge Zone. Lung Yu's intense voice crackled over the intercom. Airspace too dangerous for landing. All warriors prepare for combat. Drop. Lin totally went pale. Jump from this height? I am only a 2-star. I will break every bone. He stood up, skipping the safety cable entirely. Just grab my spear. Stay behind me. Open the hatch. Boom. The huge door blasted open. Rushing wind, thick smoke, and screaming metal filled the cabin. Looking down 1,000 meters below, South Sky Bridge stretched across a massive river, literally humanity's last choke point. Thousands of civilian cars completely jammed the bridge. On the far side, hundreds of giant Fong demon wolves had already smashed through barricades, aggressively charging toward the stuck traffic. A 1-star warrior missing an arm, slumped against a pillar, watching wolves sprint toward the nearest car packed full of families. He closed his eyes. That is exactly when he jumped. No parachute, no cables, just a man in black armor falling like a massive meteor aimed directly at the wolf pack's absolute center. Boom! He hit the bridge so hard the concrete exploded in a massive 20-meter spiderweb of cracks. The shockwave turned every wolf within 10 meters into pure dust. Just gone. Vaporized. The one-armed warrior finally opened his eyes. Through the settling dust, standing in a crater on the shattered bridge, was one guy in black armor, holding a dark purple spear, surrounded by absolutely nothing, still breathing. And he was just getting started. The dust cleared. He kneeled in a crater of his own making, his dark spear firmly planted right beside him, exactly like a flag. Slowly standing up, he shook off the huge impact energy like it was just rainwater. 3-star warrior Chun Yi, taking command of South Skybridge, West Side. His voice was not loud, but with thunder breathing backing it, every syllable hit like a gong. Every survivor on that bridge heard it. Reinforcements. Nanjiang's main defense force is here. The screaming crowd erupted in desperate hope. Beautiful sound. No time to enjoy it though, because the wolf pack behind him was furious about their completely vaporized friends. Dozens of giant Fong demon wolves fiercely launched at him simultaneously. Claws out. He swung his spear in a huge 20-meter arc. You and I just witnessed pure madness. Stick with me, is dive right in. Azure Dragon Spear fused with 9-layer thunder strike speed. Every wolf in midair got completely bisected. Just cut completely in half. It rained red mist. Like the absolute worst panada party ever. Lu Fone and the squad landed behind me. When Spear Boy saw the carpet of fallen wolves, and me standing alone like a one-man army, whatever was left of his ego packed its bags and totally moved to another country. Lu Fone, Leah, guard those flanks. Keep flying beasts away from the civilian vehicles. Go. They scrambled silently without a word. Good. Absolutely no more attitude problems. It is funny how totally clearing the field fixes interpersonal issues. But I wasn't watching them. I was staring straight through the fog across the bridge. Something big was coming. Boom. 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 Each heavy footstep shook the bridge like an earthquake. Abandoned tanks were getting kicked aside like tin cans. Then it heavily emerged from the smoke. A hard-shell behemoth. Body like a small building. Completely covered in rock-hard armor plates. Glowing red eyes locked straight on me. 4-star. Early stage leader class beast. Captain. Fall back. That's a behemoth. 3-star warriors just can't break its armor. Some terrified veterans screamed behind me. 3-star can't. Huh? Good thing I'm not actually 3-star. I completely stopped holding back. Pushed my energy to 40% full star output. Then I charged straight at the living mountain. A kilometer away. Lung. She saw this on her monitor and actually stood straight up from her command chair. Shinwai. Retreat. Static. Her order never reached me. Communications jammed. Very convenient. The behemoth wound up its right fist, a boulder-wrapped wrecking ball the size of a car, slamming it down with enough force to split the bridge. You're going to want to see this. Everyone thought the brave warrior was finished. To me, that heavy punch had endless openings. Anatomy mastery, elite combat techniques, and 40.1% development meant I saw every flaw in its attack. Like reading a children's book. Suddenly, ding, partner Sukinga is consuming purple crystal nutrient solution while running thunder. Breathing at maximum. Gene development 1%. A surge of hot energy flooded my body. My wife sitting at home drinking her expensive juice just gave me a power boost in the middle of a boss fight. This woman's timing is impeccable. Mountain River Shield Guard. Left arm up. Shield deployed. Boom. Fist met shield, and the soundwave totally shattered every window within 100 meters. The entire South Sky Bridge dangerously swayed. Steel cables groaned. The road cracked beneath my feet into 2 deep craters. But I literally didn't move. Not 1 centimeter. A 4-star behemoth's full power punch. Perfectly caught by one arm and a shield. He caught it. Lung was on her feet. Ice-cold composure completely gone. With one hand. My turn. The heavy beast's arm was still extended. I know what you're thinking. The perfect window. Old force spent. I pulled my spear back, aligned my spine, hips rotating, every muscle firing for a cloud-piercing thrust. The sharp spear tip perfectly found what I was seeking. A hairline crack in the rock armor at the throat. The one true gap in its entire defense. Because I've dismantled thousands of beasts, and I know exactly where armor completely fails. The spear went in like a hot needle through wax, piercing through the throat, right out the neck's back. Break. I channeled tiger leopard thunder breathing straight through the spear shaft. Pure destructive vibration straight into the beast's insides. Then I ripped the spear out and slid straight backward. A thick column of boiling dark crimson liquid, massive as a tree trunk, actually corroding the road surface completely erupted from the strike point. The bridge was literally smoking. The behemoth went berserk in final rage. Its fist swung wildly, smashing cars, cracking the bridge, destroying everything within reach. I'd seen this before at the hunter arenas. The final thrashing of a massive beast. Maximum danger. Everyone hide behind the support pillars. Now, danced around it like a nimble matador, staying in its blind spots. Dodging debris, using my shield to bat away a flying car door. Just patiently waiting for the clock to totally run out on this beast's energy. Its movement visibly slowed. The heavy roars became weak wheezes. The rock armor turned gray. Crimson fluid pooled beneath it like a massive lake. One last swing. Weak. Pathetic. Then, crash. The behemoth dropped heavily to its knees in front of me. Head hit the ground. Silence. A 4-star leader class beast, completely defeated at my feet. Crimson fluid flowing down bridge cracks into the river below. Every single survivor on South Sky Bridge, soldiers, warriors, civilians in their cars, stared at the battle-worn figure in black armor, holding a dark gold spear, standing tall over a mountain of fallen monster. Literally nobody breathed. And somewhere back home, pregnant wife was sipping purple juice, completely unaware. She just helped me definitively defeat the biggest thing on this massive bridge. Best support character. What do you and I think? A 4-star leader beast. He just totally destroyed it. Luom was shaking. Good, healthy response. Comes crackled back to life. Lung Yu's voice came through, and for the first time ever, she wasn't calm. Chuni, you defeated it. I flicked fluid off my spear. Obstacle cleared, teacher. Then, 3 full seconds of pure silence. Hear that heavy breathing? The Ice Queen was totally frozen in shock. Stay super defensive. Reinforcements arriving in 5 minutes. She realized just how wild this clash was. That armored behemoth had defense rivaling 5-star beasts. Stick with me here. He completely exhausted it in minutes, without taking a single scratch. That makes 0 sense for normal fighters. But he wasn't celebrating yet. The wind across the bridge carried the scent of something way worse. Everyone build a barricade right now. Push those wrecked trucks straight to the bridge center. 0 hesitation from his squad this time. They sprinted like their entire survival depended on it. Right behind them, the civilian convoy started accelerating fast. Families pressed against car windows, staring at our guy standing next to a defeated monster the size of a huge house. Some kids had their faces squished against the glass, eyes full of pure wonder. Little dude, loving the fan support, but please tell your dad to drive much faster. Ding. His partner Su Chinga, driven by extreme worry, forcefully shattered a meridian barrier. Gene development hit 1%. His pregnant wife was home stressing out, and her intense anxiety literally triggered a huge cultivation breakthrough. Then the 10 times feedback hit him like a warm wave. His wife levels up through stress. He could not even be mad. That is the most overpowered emotional support system ever. Or maybe chugging purple crystal nutrient solution like sports drinks helped. Either way, another 0.1% for our guy. Thanks, babe. Keep worrying. Then the sky darkened. Now watch closely. Thousands of giant black vultures with huge wingspans dove at the civilian convoy like an absolute feathered disaster. They target the helpless civilians and children who cannot fight back. Huge air attack incoming. Protect the convoy. Linnea screamed, slashing a diving bird. But these things were incredibly smart. Dive, strike, retreat. Impossible to hit with ground weapons, unless you have a very long stick. 1 inch longer means 1 inch stronger. He took a breath, spinning his azure dragon spear. 6th layer. Dragon soars to heaven. The spear spun so fast it created a tornado. Air screaming, debris flying, thunder energy channeled through the metal shaft until the wild wind itself started howling like dragons. He essentially became a human anti-aircraft cannon. He didn't even aim at individual birds. He didn't need to. The rapid rotation turned 30 meters of airspace into an absolute no-fly zone. Any bird foolish enough to dive toward the convoy entered his range, and instantly became a total shower of feathers. Luo Fang dropped his jaw completely. Captain, is that a spear or a crazy weather event? 10 years of training, and he finally understood what King of Weapons meant. It was not just about poking things. It was about controlling space, dictating exactly who survives within your ultimate domain. Feathers rained down as he walked right beside the convoy, spinning his spear like a wild helicopter blade of fury, escorting every car to safety. Boom! Deep inside Jinshan City, a 200-story building collapsed like someone flicked it, and rising up from the dust cloud, totally covered in dark purple flames, was a 50-meter shape with wings blocking out what remained of the sky. Even from kilometers away, the insane pressure hit like a wall. Warriors completely froze. Some dropped to their knees, barely breathing. The air felt heavier like gravity changed. The Beast Emperor. He looked through the smoke, locking eyes with that thing circling above the burning city like a god surveying its kingdom. I know what you are thinking. His hands didn't shake. His heartbeat raced from pure excitement, not fear. "Commander Lung Yu," he spoke into comms. "Where is backup? Because that big guy up there just started moving." Lung Yu's voice crackled through the earpiece, and for the first time, she sounded completely terrified. "That is the Purple Flame Thunder Eagle, the king-class ruler of the Forbidden Zone. 8-star peak. Do not even look at it. Its aura alone shatters a low-rank warrior's mind. 8 stars. The strongest person in all of Nanjam is also 8-star. This bird was basically a flying mega-weapon with a massive attitude problem. He didn't freeze, though. Spinning his spear faster, he cleared the vultures and screamed at his squad to run full speed. Do not look back. Lu Fong and Lin were shaking like leaves, but seeing him standing unmoved gave them just enough courage to keep moving forward. Funny how that works. His knees were completely fine. Secretly being 4-star makes you too stubborn to show fear. Hundreds of missiles streaked across the sky, slamming into the Thunder Eagle. Explosions everywhere, barely scratched it. That is where we leave it. The shield ate those missiles. But hey, it got distracted. Let's dive in. 3 gold-plated warships roared straight overhead, and from one, a figure suddenly leaped. A deep blue streak plummeted from hundreds of meters high, dragging a golden spear arc 100 meters long. Sonic booms popped like firecrackers behind him, a 7-star Grandmaster at minimum. This absolute legend carved a massive wall of pure battle energy right across the sky, easily 1 kilometer wide, catching every single lightning strike the Thunder Eagle hurled at us. Then he rocketed straight at the beast. They clashed in the clouds like angry gods having a total disagreement. Every single impact blasted the thick fog away for miles. The sky was literally rearranging up there. I finally let out a breath. I didn't know I was holding. The Grandmaster is totally handling the big bird. We might actually survive this. A blue figure dropped from a passing warship and landed right beside me. Lung Yu. But she wasn't watching the epic sky battle. She was staring at me, and her expression went from concerned teacher to pure shock in about half a second. "Chu Nin Yu?" Her voice trembled. 6-star warriors sense energy signatures just like radar, and what she was reading off me right now was definitely not 3-star. 4-star. You have reached 4-star. How many secrets are you hiding? Great question, teacher. Unfortunately, the universe chose this exact moment to interrupt. Now pay attention here. Boom. Furious at the Grandmaster, the Thunder Eagle violently flapped its wings, unleashing a wild storm of tree-sized purple lightning bolts. Several blasts aimed straight for the bridge and the civilian convoy. Lung Yu didn't hesitate. Pushing me aside, she raised her ice blue spear, blasting a huge wall of frozen energy to block the incoming apocalypse. 6-star versus 8-star spillover damage. That ice wall lasted about 1 second before shattering like glass. The impact hit Lung Yu full force. She flew backward, coughing up red mist, and crashed directly into my waiting arms. Her combat suit was soaked red. Her energy turned chaotic, meridians scorched by purple fire, consciousness fading fast. Teacher, I caught her. She was completely broken, both physically and energetically. A 6-star powerhouse reduced to a ragdoll by one stray attack from that monster above. She grabbed my arm with heavily stained fingers, eyes barely open. Her voice was a whisper. Run. You are Nanjiang's true hope. Take the civilians and go. I will hold them off. That is an order. Across the bridge, the beast tide sensed her weakness. Thousands of wild monsters surged forward, and leading the charge, multiple commander-class beasts, just as strong as the behemoth I literally just defeated. You feel the tension here too, right? I looked at my fading teacher, looked at my squad, and looked at the escaping convoy of families. Then I handed Lung Yu to Linnea. Take her. Take everyone. Run full speed. Do not stop. Captain, you cannot stay alone. There are thousands. That is an order. Move. I let my thunder breathing loose. Full power. Zero suppression. The wild roar that exploded from me shook the bridge so hard Linnea's ear started ringing painfully. She grabbed Lung Yu, grabbed the squad, grabbed the remaining civilians, and ran. Lung Yu, drifting in and out, managed to open her eyes one final time. Through extremely blurry vision, she saw my back. One man, black armor, gold spear, standing completely alone at the bridge, facing down a literal ocean of monsters. Please survive, she whispered. Then she passed out, and I turned back to face the massive horde. Thousands of beasts, multiple boss-level monsters, one bridge, one guy. Honestly, the math was completely terrible, but somewhere back home, pregnant wife was absorbing purple crystals like a total champion, literally powering me up in real time. My gene development was climbing higher with every single minute she trained. So what do you and I make of this? My math is totally different. I planted my feet, raised my spear, and grinned behind my helmet. Alright, you ugly bastards. Line starts here.